20 years later, Rambo is back, and he's here to kill more foreigners. I'm Derek.
I'm Whitney.
I'm Jack.
This is Bad Movies,
Worst people.
I saw a thing online about Rambo 3. I was looking at pictures to do the posts for Rambo 3. And somebody had a screenshot of the end. So the one we had said, to the noble people or the gallant people of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
There was a screenshot version that said, to the brave mujahideen warriors of Afghanistan.
Specifically that group, not the rest.
Yeah, so I think they changed that for the Blu-rays because more recent releases, because that was after Taliban.
Gotcha. We can't.
Yeah, I was like, ooh.
Yikes.
That didn't age well.
Like fine beer.
It aged like a fine Coors Light. This film was released in 2008. It is entitled Rambo.
Why call it anything else? It's Rambo. It's the first one of the franchise, right?
Right?
In other countries, First Blood had been retitled Rambo. First Blood had been retitled Rambo to not confuse people, but it's America, so we're smarter and we understand, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
get it.
So this one was called either, depending on your country, John Rambo or Rambo 4.
Okay.
John Rambo fits in with his naming conventions of he did the Rockies and then Rocky Balboa, right? So
yeah.
Whatever, but that's not what they did. This movie is a hard R.
Hard R.
Not the hard R we usually refer to.
So I read that he was worried this was not going to get a theatrical release.
It
really?
didn't. There's a chain of theaters in the UK and maybe some other areas over there.
I was going to say Denmark.
Odeon, which
Okay.
I think was part of the Cineplex Odeon that we used to have here. That was Century and stuff like that. But
yeah.
They didn't release it for quote unquote PR reasons or something like that.
It's because the violence is not new. But
No.
it was violence against innocent people and children that was oh shit.
Well, and that's a big thing is Whitney was like, this is really hard to watch because the early parts of this movie are hard to watch.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It
a
was
lot of violence against innocents.
brutal.
But I was telling her, I was like, well, the thing is, they're trying to show you how bad these people are. So when he just shreds them to pieces,
You
later,
don't feel bad
You're
at
cheering.
all.
You're
Yeah.
cheering, literally
Yeah.
cheering.
And also, I think part of it was this conflict specifically was chosen by Sylvester Stallone because he wanted some kind of global ongoing conflict.
I thought that
And he didn't want it to be the ones that were being done to death already, like Afghanistan or things going on in
can't go back
Africa.
to Afghanistan.
I gotta go fix my problem. But things going on in Africa, different conflicts that the world knows about. And somebody told him about this one. And he was like, "Cool, let's do that.
I thought
I can
that-
go back to Thailand. They love me there." So
I wondered about that myself just because the beginning they're using real news footage
Yeah.
of decapitations, bodies, just
Yeah.
all kinds of absolute, just terrible, terrible real life shit. And I thought Stallone being who he is, he probably wants to bring a little light to that. He's
Awareness.
for whatever you think about him, he's got a lot of social awareness and at this point anyway, one to use his clout.
yeah, I mean, he's using his clout to get a message about a serious issue by extremely blowing up bodies inside of a computer.
Yeah.
But I just a quick little summary because I didn't know anything about the conflict, the Burmese conflict
Yeah.
and
Neither did I.
everything. So I did a quick thing. I'm not going
Hit
to go
me.
into all the politics, but it's basically, it sounds very familiar. Tell me if this sounds familiar to you. So I'm going to probably pronounce it wrong, but the Rohingya Muslims and the Rakhine Buddhist communities are the two that are fighting in what's now Myanmar, used to be Burma.
Oh, that's right.
And the Muslim group had sided, this has been going on since 1947. The Muslim group had sided with the British during World War II with the Allies, and the Buddhist group had sided with Japan. And basically when the Allies won, the Muslim people were promised a Muslim state, so they made the country, they put those people in charge of the country and made it their country, and then they started treating the other people like they weren't human and they weren't citizens, and they were doing terrible things to them, and then it's just this back and forth conflict. They've been trying to kick them out, and there's an area that's mostly the Rakhine Buddhists, but they're being pushed out anyway, and it sounds an awful lot like Israel and Pakistan.
It comes down to another holy war.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it
It's
sounds
a Western
like.
country going, this is yours now, and the people who already live there going, well, what? So.
And of course, all these the English are nowhere to be seen to
Oh, yeah, of
help
course.
or police anything.
Yeah.
You just fucking shook up a soda, threw it in a room, and left.
Yeah, and apparently it's still going on.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
to this day. So that's wonderful.
That's fun. So you're saying this movie did not have the social impact that Sly
No,
Stone
in this
wanted?
movie, he literally killed like the dictator of
Yeah,
the
he
group.
did.
But
This guy
turns
kinda,
out,
when he had his aviators on, he kind of looked like, oh God, the fucking La Bamba movie, Richie's brother. I can't think of it. Bob. Don't be such a drag. Except he was not that
so
fun.
this guy who this was, we took us a minute to figure out who people were in the credits because they didn't use a lot of names in this movie.
Especially even for the fucking the white
mercenaries.
mercenaries.
Yeah, the mercenaries.
I got one name. Well, I have two names. One I actually know who it is.
Yeah.
The other one is Heard.
We did a little bit of we did some deducing to figure out who was
deep
who.
dive.
Yeah,
but
we did.
but the guy who plays the dictator, who I thought was just like a general or like a leader of this group, but he's supposed to be like the dictator, like the leader.
Okay, I'm glad you clarified because I
the
would have thought the
name-
same thing. Like you're a general.
Yeah.
the
not
name was
the.
his name was Tint. It was like the last name was Tint, like Tint.
Okay.
That's pretty much what they refer to him. He was played by a guy named Wong Kin, who is an actual or used to be an actual Karen rebel.
Oh, okay.
And he was
so
afraid
he had
that
to play
by
the other side?
yeah, and he was afraid that by playing this role he might be putting his family in jeopardy, but he did it anyway.
Yeah. Well, money.
Yeah. I mean, I think part of it too was trying to get the message out because nobody was paying attention. And also Julie Benz, who was the Sarah in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She-
from
from
Dexter.
Dexter and stuff.
Yeah. It took me so long. I was like, oh my God, she's fucking Rita.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
immediately I was like, Dexter.
every time I see her, I'm like, hey, Dexter, even though she's been in other things. Which is actually why she got this role, because Stallone liked Dexter.
Really? Is
Yeah.
that true?
That's what the internet says.
Oh wow.
So it
It's
must
gotta
be true. But she became a big. She joined or started a group that was for like Burmese like awareness and stuff after this, because she was like, after being over there, they were in Thailand and stuff, but I guess they got very close to where the conflict was happening, and they were actually in like jeopardy sometimes. And she saw stuff, and she was like, I can't just go back to being.
I mean, even if you're
unaware,
not in the
so.
shit of it, you're gonna see refugees more than likely.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of missing limbs and shit. And they go into that into
Yeah.
that in detail.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did.
More landmines than anywhere else or something like
Yeah.
that. I mean, full disclosure, I had about 6 or 7 beers during this hour and a half movie.
Yeah, solid 92 minutes, by
It's
the
a
way.
snack.
And
It
there's
is.
a lot of action, which means it's like 30 minutes of story and
To jump
80
ahead
minutes
a
of-
bit, dude. Like I was
60 minutes of
sitting
action.
there, I was like, man, this is starting to feel like it's gonna wrap up. And I looked over at Bleep and Bleep. I was like, is this over? And we hit pause. I'm like, holy shit, this is just about over. And I didn't mean that in a bad way.
It just
was
went by
like,
so
you got in,
fast.
you got out. You didn't
Yeah.
pat it, because we just watched number 3, which
God.
is just like
I didn't.
explode. You're actually kind of missing out, but
I
also
know.
kind of lucky.
it's so far it's my least favorite.
I listened
yeah.
to you guys recap it,
It
so
is
that's good
just
enough, right?
Explosion after explosion, and even when you're like, all right, we're wrapping things up. No, you got like 10 more minutes of bombs.
Well, and the thing
blowies.
is, it's explosion after explosion after the first 45 or 48 minutes. Like Rambo 3 takes almost an hour to get to the action.
that's
Oh.
true.
Whereas this movie, I mean, other than like the violence, the real life violence it starts with, it takes a minute, but not. I mean, the whole movie, it's less than 30 minutes before you get to like real action.
Yeah.
So, who directed number 3?
I don't know.
Because
Some guy.
Sylvester Stallone directed this one.
Yeah, this is
yes,
like,
this is the
This
only
is all
Rambo.
him.
film.
This is the only Rambo he directed.
Okay.
He did direct other movies of his, Rocky 2, 3, and 4, and Rocky Balboa. He directed Staying Alive, which explains why Frank Stallone got to do music for it. And he directed the first Expendables.
Oh, is that what was missing from this one?
Well, I'll
Frank
tell you what
Stallone.
else was missing from this one was Richard Crenna.
Yeah.
He's
Died
dead.
in 2003. I looked
Oh,
at it 'cause I was
rest
like,
in
man, I was
pictures.
like, maybe he was, rest in pictures.
I totally said prick, and I'm sorry. Pictures.
No, but I thought maybe he was getting older, and I looked it up. I was like, oh shit, he died 5 years before.
Yeah, it
this
was like
got
pancreatic
released,
cancer
so-
or something. And they were
rough.
going to recast him for like the flashback thing or something, but Stallone was like, no, that's fine. And Stallone has said that he pretty much looks at it as Troutman died in 2003.
Yeah.
because all these movies, this movie
Stay
still takes
chronological,
place in
right?
the chronological order of time.
So now now that I've looked it up, it's Peter McDonald was the director. I'm having a flashback of on the last episode we did, Derek listing off a lot of things this guy did. The Quest, Tango and Cash.
Oh, yeah,
all
that's
those
right.
Jason
Okay.
Legionnaire
Like
movies.
The Young Adventures of Indiana Jones, some Tales from the Crypt. So a lot of things that people on this podcast love
Yes.
dearly.
Dearly.
Doesn't make him a good director though.
Real quick, so you had asked, so the Rambo 2, I had mentioned that it was directed by George Cosmatos, who had directed Tombstone. He was the director that was brought in to finish Tombstone after the first
Gotcha. He's
director
not
was
the punk
fired or
bitch
quit.
that
whatever.
left.
Yeah, exactly. I found that out later. I was like, great, I didn't know this information. I was like
well,
an idiot.
hey, here we are.
He's got to wait 2 more weeks to find out, and here you are.
Well, there's a lot of things about Tombstone I know.
So the body count in this movie, not Rambo's body count, but the total body count is
400?
about 466.
466.
Yeah.
Gee, I was trying to go high. Like I was
Rambo
purposely trying
himself
to go above what I thought it would be. Holy shit.
Rambo himself is responsible for about 254 on-screen kills.
Yeah.
A large chunk of which happens during a large explosion.
Large chunk of people are falling off in this movie
Large
too.
chunks
Yes.
of people.
Yes. And you can see it and it's awesome. I do want to say really quick, I love that they did a blend of CG and squib.
That's why it looked good.
Yes.
For the most part. There's a couple moments that were a little like, oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll get to
I was
that.
okay with some of the gross, and there's a little fun fact about that later. But
Oh,
like,
I don't mean gross as in gory. I mean, oh, that's CG
shitty
heavy.
CG.
And
Yeah.
That's to me gross. Sorry.
some of it was bad, but
Yeah.
there was some. From what I remembered it being like all CG blood.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, it's obviously not real blood, but there's a lot of good, like, real practical effect
I
blood.
Yes.
remembered hating this movie.
I remembered
back in 08 when it came out. I remember hating this.
all I remembered was the final 50 cal scene.
Yeah.
That's literally, and I was like, I remember a lot of people died.
Yep.
That's
I'll tell you what, dude, if I was fighting Rambo, I would just give all my military sticks. Like, hey, you're not going to kill him, but he's not going to turn that stick on us either and kill all of us. He probably would.
you know what though. I will say, like, that's all I remembered, and that's pretty much all this movie is. Like,
Yeah.
there's little to no story to this movie.
I never saw it. This was my first time.
Oh, okay.
I want to
Can't wait
try
to hear your
something a little
thoughts.
different. Like, we'll go through, like, a really quick, like, what's this movie about? And that way, maybe we don't get so bogged down in the details as we go
Oh, I
through.
can sum it up, dude.
Yeah, give us a little quick
So
summary.
John Rambo's living as a snake wrangler, and then these what I thought was Greenpeace, but their church people come up and like, hey, take us down the river. And he's like, no, I don't want to take you down the river. And like, oh, take us down the river. No. But then this chick comes up and touches him, and John Rambo's still a virgin, so he's like, I'll do whatever you want.
I was
So,
like,
no,
he's
there's
gonna-
like an argument, but he ends up taking him up the river because they want to get medical supplies and God to these poor fucking rebels, and not even rebels. Some are just fucking villagers. And of course, what happens? They all get fucking bombed and kidnapped and taken to this little place. So now the dude that's the head of this Colorado church, I'm imagining in my head, brings in mercenaries. He tells John Rambo, you're going to take them. You're going to take them where you dropped him off. Cool. Now we're there. John Rambo takes them. And you get this fucking group of mercenaries that will not tell you their names at all. So mad. And yeah, then it doesn't go very well. Rambo goes with them. And they have to extract all these people. They do extract them, but then the Muslim army, we're going to call them because I can't remember what you said they were.
yeah.
The Karens?
Rohingya. doesn't matter.
Carrots?
Karen.
No, the Karens are the rebels,
Okay.
which is hilarious.
Yeah, right. Like I wish it was an army of Karens. Hey, we all want to talk to your manager. Every single one of us.
They would have won years ago.
Yeah, this soup is cold, and I ordered it hot. Anyway, so once they get caught after extracting, now we get to 50 cal scene where John Rambo just fucking
Lights it
destroys
up.
people.
Yep.
And then that's the end of the movie, really. Like that is the
Yeah.
plot of this.
So I figure like we give a little summary, and that way we can just kind of joke along the way instead of getting
Yeah.
bogged down. But basically, like you said, it starts, or like we said earlier, it starts with the footage of the real Burmese conflict, which is gross. That first scene with the first acting scene, the movie, not the real life footage. We have like where they're just executing a bunch of civilians.
Yeah.
And they're doing this thing that they do later in the movie, which is like a mine race.
So I couldn't figure out what this was off the beginning of it either. I'm like,
Yeah.
are they trying to let them get away? Are they punishing them?
They're literally toying with them.
They're betting on them.
Yeah.
The next time we see it, you hear, subtitles. Like, I got this much on the person in red.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's disgusting.
Yeah, they throw some mines into these
Rice
into these
paddies.
rice paddies or water, whatever it is, and they basically make these people run through the water, and then
Once
see
they
who
get there and
blows
don't
first.
blow up, they fucking shoot them anyway.
Yeah, they're all gonna die
God,
anyway.
at least play fair. Like, all right, dude. Well, you got through the minefield, so go live happy.
Yeah. So that's
with
what we
your
get
one
to
leg.
see. Oh, and we are introduced to Tint, who's the rebel or the army leader guy.
Mm-hmm.
I did have one note here for the very, very beginning of the movie. Weinstein Company.
Yeah.
That doesn't age well.
Nope. We made some jokes about that too.
But so we see Rambo snake wrangling, as you said, and the first blood theme is playing.
Mm-hmm.
Which Whitney pointed out. I didn't catch it right away. Apparently, and I can't remember the guy's name. I thought I had written it down, but I guess I didn't. The guy who did music for the other 3 movies had passed away at this point, or
Oh, shit.
something. Maybe he had retired. I think it said he'd passed away. This was the first movie without his music, so I think that's why they went back and got this song. Plus, Rambo's also dressed through this entire movie in various versions of what he's dressed like in the
But
first
not
movie.
one shirtless or tank top scene.
No.
Like, I know he's 61, but he still looks really good. I feel like you owe it to me and the rest of the fan base to take your shirt off, buddy.
From what I gathered from the internets, it was because he had started getting a bunch of like back tattoos done.
Oh.
Like he had started getting a lot of like extensive tattoo, shoulder and back tattoo
Yeah.
work done, and Rambo didn't have that.
That's fair. I kind of
Although it's been 20 years, so he could have gotten
could have
tattoos.
gotten
I
but-
kind of chalked it up to Sly Stone's like, look, I'm not sitting in the makeup chair to put those scars on every day. I'm just going to fucking wear a shirt.
did not do the accent.
Oh,
You
it's not
didn't
an
do the
accent,
voice.
it's a
You didn't
voice.
do the voice.
Look, man, I'm not going to be sitting in a fucking chair for makeup.
But he doesn't talk like
I
that
got
in real
back
life. That's
tattoo.
just his character.
Well,
Yeah,
exactly.
In real life, he talks just like this. Hi, it's Stallone
My
here.
name's-
I
my
was in
name's
Rambo.
Sly Stallone.
Sly Stone. My brother's Frank. You should hear his music. It's wonderful.
Oh, speaking of music, I love the score on this. There's something to be said about an actual orchestra doing the score.
A true score.
Like
Yeah.
a true
Yeah, you're
score.
not talking soundtrack.
Exactly. Like,
And I
and
mean,
it's
this is probably like a 20-piece orchestra in a small studio. This
Yeah.
isn't John Williams, but
Well,
it's still pretty good.
beautiful, and it
everybody's
gets the
John
emotion
Williams.
Not
level that
everybody's.
you need. And like when you're that one scene where, oh my god, that kills me. Like my eyes were crying. Like I wasn't.
You're talking about
my
the
eyes.
not real footage, but when
Correct.
when they first go to this village and they just start shooting
Oh my
women,
God.
children, dogs. At one point, someone threw. I can't tell if it was a child or a
It
dog.
was a child.
Just
they like
threw a
harpooned
child
him
into a burning building. Like,
Yeah.
and flung him.
I understand you're trying to set up evil, but we get it.
Yeah.
Like, and
We
it was.
get it.
I could have done less minutes of that.
Yeah, no, and they
It
went
was-
back to that a lot. There
It
was,
didn't
there
bug me
wasn't
nearly as
one
much as it
scene.
bugged you. It sounds like, but it still was like
It hurt.
just visibly or audibly, just like, oh,
Well, I feel like this
Oh.
opening scene was enough to set up how evil these guys are.
yeah.
But they wanted
then
to
you
make
do it
sure.
again
You
later.
said it though,
You
like
did it
we
again
need
another
to see
time.
these people do it.
Yeah.
So we know that they're not just like
Yeah.
following orders like good soldiers. No,
Yeah.
no. They're
They're
enjoying this.
enjoying
and
it.
it's a lot like in real life also. It's a lot like that. The conflicts, not that there's a bunch that go on that have been going on constantly in Africa, where because we see in this movie they're taking children as soldiers, as happens in Africa all the time. They kidnap kids and stuff. They basically take all these kids when they're very young and they just treat them like shit and they brainwash them.
This is
and
all
then
you know.
these people turn into horrendous people.
Yeah. No fault of their own.
And
Yeah, it's all they know.
it's the way that it's what they live around. It's the way they're raised. I mean, they might have been taken when they were like 9, but everything is wiped out because of trauma and abuse and going through, and then like they just become this kind of thing, and it's
Uh-huh.
because
They
you're
went into-
living,
they-
you're,
they're-
you're living in the Lord of the Flies.
Their brain went into
situation.
survival mode real
Yeah.
young and never came out.
So the church people show up here.
So I actually didn't know they were church people right off the bat. I was like, oh, it's like a Greenpeace or
Yeah.
NATO.
He says something about a Church of Colorado or something, and like they don't really talk about being like. I don't know if they really cover what they're doing. Like I heard church, so I was like, okay, they're like missionaries. They're going to bring God to these people. But then later on, they're talking about how they have medicine. I don't know if that was mentioned earlier. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's kind of
well, because
ill-defined.
even Rambo's like, now we have the girl, the only real female in this movie, is saying like, we're gonna go change things. He goes, "Did you bring a gun?" No, you ain't gonna change anything.
You ain't changing shit, bitch.
Yeah,
Also-
and he's not wrong. Like you can't go in there with like good intentions and hope. This is a genocidal army.
100%.
Like you can't just go in there and be like, all right, guys, play nice.
But I totally called it when she walked up and talked to him, and she had that little cross
Little
necklace
cross,
on. I was
yeah.
like, he's gonna get that necklace.
But he got smart on this one
Wrapped
because
it
you
around
remember
his
in number
wrist.
2 he put it on as the choker. He's like, "Ah!" This one he's like, you know what? This is a wrist necklace. It's something I just made up. You mean a bracelet? No.
His neck has gotten much bigger since that second movie.
Yes, it
That
has.
necklace ain't going anywhere.
He's big in this, but I don't mean like Rambo 3 where he's cut from a meat statue.
well, this
like,
is
he's big.
post surgery and like whatever, like splicing himself with dog DNA
Well,
or
didn't
whatever
he
the
get
fuck he
busted
was
for
doing.
HGH?
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
that's-
dog DNA?
No, it was HGH. He was doing some crazy science shit to himself. Like he's like splicing himself with dog meat and becoming a dog soldier like that movie. So we get Michael Burnett is the leader of these church people. He's a big old pussy, is what the movie's telling you.
Yeah, it took me a
Paul
minute.
Schultz is the actor. He's in a bunch of stuff.
I know him
he
from
was in The
24.
Expanse.
He was such a wiener in 24
Yeah.
that I couldn't
He's in
forget
The
him.
Sopranos. He's,
in
also
the
a priest,
in
in
The Sopranos that's banging
Nurse Jackie. He was
or
a
trying to
pharmacist.
bang.
I never watched Nurse
Tony
Jackie.
Soprano's wife, Nurse Jackie, which is also Tony Soprano's wife.
Oh, Edie Falco?
Yeah.
there
This
you
dude's got it hard for Edie?
That show
Uh,
pissed me off.
he
Yeah,
had
he
it-
fucks her in both of them. So
go. He had a featured thing on like Suits. He was in The Punisher. So yeah, he's in a bunch of stuff, mostly TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually pretty weaselly.
I mean, he just has a weasel face.
Yeah.
And then Julie Benz, who we mentioned already, plays Sarah Miller. She was on Dexter. She was one of the leads on the show Defiance. I don't know if anybody ever watched that Sci-Fi
No.
Channel show. It's stupid. I watched the whole thing. And she was in Boondock Saints too as wannabe Willem Dafoe with a terrible Southern accent.
Oh, that's right.
Dude,
That's one of the worst characters in cinema
I've
history.
blacked that movie out. Like, I know I've seen it. I couldn't tell you a fucking thing about it.
You know what I can tell you about that movie? There's that scene where the two brothers shower together, and one of them has a top tattoo and one of them has a bottom tattoo, implying that they fuck. Like they're back on their back. One of them's got like the top half of a crucifix, and the other one's got the bottom half with the feet. And I'm like, that's weird.
Well,
And then and they have a room that's a shower. It's insane. It's like a rain shower room.
I want
Yeah.
a room that's a shower.
It's like bigger than my bedroom. And then the other part I remember is Ding Dong Motherfucker Ding Dong.
nothing.
Clifton,
something?
yeah, the guy that's in he
Rules
plays
of
what I don't know. He
Attraction?
plays one of the vegan cops in Scott Pilgrim.
He's a drug dealer in Rules of Attraction.
Okay.
I need that shit like I need an asshole on my elbow. Right fucking there, an asshole.
He's one of their he's their new sidekick, and he's trying to come up with his own tagline because they do their prayer. And at
Yeah.
one point, he kills a bunch of people, and then he's like, "Ding dong, motherfucker, ding dong," and they're like, "No, that's
Nope,
not right."
that's not yours.
That's all I remember. Troy Duffy doesn't deserve to be talked about anymore. So we'll move
No.
on. Another connection here, though, she's also in Punisher Warzone. The other guy's in the Punisher TV series. So
Okay.
that's fun.
Warzone, is that the one with Rest in Pictures recently, Ray Stevens?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one that's better than the one that Thomas Jane was in, but not as good as the one that Dolph Lundgren was in.
Dude, that's barely a Punisher movie. But it's still better.
Which one?
The Dolph Lundgren
Oh.
one. Like, it's a Punisher movie in name only.
So they need a ride to Burma, as you mentioned. Yeah, and he's basically like, "You guys don't have any weapons?" And they're like, "No." He's like, "Well, you're fucking stupid." And they're like, "We need to help the world, whatever." And he literally says, "Fuck the world.
Yeah.
Don't ask me for shit."
Oh, and they do have a conversation because she says, like, give me your story. And he's like, yeah, I'm a Vietnam vet. Don't you have any family? A father, maybe. Oh.
Where are you from?
Bowie, Arizona.
You never want to go back?
I don't know.
Don't you want to know what's happening
Just
in
like
America?
that.
Not really.
I mean, he's doing almost that Rambo 1, I'm barely talking.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
he's just,
I wish I would have went back and counted how much he talked in this movie.
yeah. Yeah, you want to body count be damned. We
You
know
know who
it's a high
has
body
more
count.
lines? The leader of the fucking army.
Uh-huh. What'd you say it was? Tint?
Tint, yeah.
Just so I
So-
can use it.
The leader of the mercenaries, that English
Oh,
SAS
Graham
guy.
McTavish.
Yes, this guy even makes a comment with, "I've met men with," or "You can do away with that 1,000-yard stare."
I've met men like you. I've met men like you before.
No, you have not.
Sweetheart, no, you haven't.
Rambo kind of does reference Rambo 3 in a way. He doesn't say this exactly, but when she's like, you need to come, you need to help, whatever. He's basically, the sum up of what he says is, "I've tried to help rebels before. It did not go well."
It's actually still going on if you pick up a paper.
I mean, that's not funny, but
That's a little funny.
And she finally convinces. There's a bunch of back and forth. They leave, and then she comes back, and it's raining.
Touches his
whatever.
hand. That's
Yeah.
But
it.
basically, she convinces him by saying,
Just in his
like,
pants right there.
saving a life isn't wasting your life, or something like that. And he's like, "Oh, that's a good point. I never thought of it that way."
Hold on, let me get my pen and paper. Write that down for the next tagline. Saving a life is not a waste of life.
And when
Okay.
they're riding on the boat, this Michael Burnett guy is so fucking jealous of Rambo because Sarah keeps trying to talk to him, and he's just like, "Why are you talking to him? Why are you over there? What are you doing? Where
He's
are you
just the
going?"
boat guy.
I wouldn't talk to anybody this fucking large in this tone. Like, I'm sorry. I don't care if you
No.
think he's a burnout, a hippie. This guy could reach out his bare paw and crush your little weasel throat, dude. I said scrush because it's squeeze and crush.
Yes, scrush.
He's going to give you the roadhouse.
Ooh.
Which he does do in this movie.
He
But
gives you
takes-
the slow motion.
But yeah,
I
roadhouse.
know.
we literally had just watched Roadhouse, and we're watching this. And I'm like, "Well, Patrick Swayze did that much
When
easier."
he does it, I was like, is he going to roadhouse him? I was like, no, he's just crushing his Adam's apple. And then he's like, oh, he is going to roadhouse
I
him.
guess this is probably the more realistic version. I don't think
Yes.
you pluck out someone's esophagus.
Maybe you-
I mean,
esophageal
if-
sphincter.
Maybe you can't.
If done right.
But you know what? If I believed one person could just pull it out without trying, it
Sam
wouldn't be
Elliott.
Patrick Swayze. It would be Rambo.
Yeah.
Or Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott, I believe.
Still.
I
to
still
this
love
day.
you, Sam.
Yeah, right.
I don't know how
currently.
old he is, 80 something.
Oh, he's got to be in his
He
80s.
can still pull out your
I
esophagus.
just saw him in that 1883 miniseries, and
Oh.
man,
Yeah.
he's fucking killer. That series is not that good, but I watched it because he's in it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
God.
thought it was fine. It was my least
great.
favorite part of Yellowstone so far.
Yeah.
Because it was the whole, like,
I
it wasn't
cried.
enough about the ranch. It was all about the traveling. And
I
I was
didn't
like, yo, I
dislike
played
it.
this game when I was a kid. It was called Oregon Trail. You
Yeah.
have dysentery. I get it.
Literally.
Yeah. Oh, that guy died from dysentery. She got a snake bite on her vagina, and she was never the same. I don't mean like
I
a
would- I
snake
don't
bite
think I would
tattoo
be.
or a piercing. She got a snake bite piercing on her vagina. It was actually pretty trendy.
And
They're, no.
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 They're trying to float down the river here, and like they shut off the lights and stuff because they see a pirate shanty.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
at
They see the
nighttime.
pirate town from fucking Pirates of the Caribbean.
This is
here.
a Texas lake trash bar.
Yeah, speaking
Oh,
of
my
Roadhouse,
goodness.
right? I mean, and they're trying to sneak by, and of course the pirates see him, and they like, well, you know, why didn't you pay respect to us? Da, da, da. And he's like, well, because if I would have stopped and paid respect to you, you would have killed us. But also, you're gonna kill us now anyway.
He's like,
so-
I'll pay you. He's like, yeah, fuck yeah, you're gonna pay us.
Is that a woman?
And well, yeah, and so Whitney was like, when did she put a hat on? And I was like, well, I noticed her put the hat on as soon as she ducked down. And I assumed, I was just about to say, right when it happened, I was like, it's probably because she doesn't want them to see that she's a woman.
Yeah.
Especially like a white, blonde American woman.
Yep, you
Yeah.
are blonde hair, blue eye beauty.
Yeah, and as soon as
Yeah,
they
she
see that
is.
she's a woman, they're like, yeah, give her to us. He's like, I'll give you whatever you want. They're like, yeah, I know you will, but also give her to us.
And then we
Like,
get what I think's a fucking dope ass part because we got Rambo's being peaceful this whole time.
100%.
And now you see him eyeball. I'm looking at this guy. He's got his hand on this gun. I'm looking to the right of that. I see this guy's got his gun low. Like he is computer sizing up these people. Like, okay,
Which order do I do this?
I gotta shoot this guy with the heavy machine gun first, but so I can shoot that guy before he draws. And then this guy's getting it. And it is bing bang boom, 4 dudes dead.
Done in like what, 2
Instantly.
seconds?
And by the way, fourth movie, first time Rambo's used a pistol.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that too. I was like, this
Yeah.
kind of looks unnatural.
Yeah, it looked weird, right?
Wow,
where'd you get this little tiny pea shooter?
it's so small. Could hardly
With a
kill it.
Dillinger in his hand?
This isn't a mounted machine gun that he's carrying around.
You can hardly kill a village full of indigenous people with that, Rambo.
Ooh, speaking of carrying around a machine gun, the freaking sniper gun.
Oh yeah, that's
Dude,
a
that-
Barrett 50 cal.
Soldier Boy, what's
Dude.
his-
Schoolboy.
Schoolboy.
There's the one name because
Soldier Boy is that terrible rapper.
he wasn't on this boat, so we know we got Schoolboy because he
Yes.
tells you that's my name from sniping school.
And then
you
Ichu?
hear. So I only heard the other name was Tombstone, but
No,
we don't see who's Tombstone.
I don't even see. I didn't see a tombstone in the credits.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Someone said the name Tombstone, so I figured it was one of these
The singer
It
is
could be.
actually a singer.
hillbilly.
Yeah.
The one that's singing like the blues songs.
Wow, I wish he could have actually sang real.
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
But there was a good this was Rambo's dramatic scene right here, by the way. Mm-hmm. When he's yelling at them and they're like, whatever, we want to go back, and he's like, no, you need to, or we want to keep going, and he's like, no, we need to go back, whatever, and he does this, who are you? Who are any of you? And it's like that's his dramatic scene for this movie.
Oh, but he also
That's all they can muster up for
Yeah.
this one.
he was like, I'm not talking to you, pointing
Yeah.
to Michael. He's like, I am only talking to her.
Yeah, 'cause
He
for
won't
whatever
even look at
reason-
Michael
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it's like this is her trip now.
Yeah.
because she's the one who convinced him with her womanly charms.
Yeah, and
He
her
respects
neck
her.
bracelet.
Neck bracelet. Yeah, this is when she gives him the necklace, and he drops him off, and fucking Michael's like, we'll take the land route to go home. And I'm like, why don't you fucking take it to get there then?
Yeah, dude, come on. Why did you need this boat if there's a secret entrance?
They literally said this is the only way we can get in, but I guess it's one of those like one way in, two way out kind of things. I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Basically, it's a butthole and these guys are turds.
Well, maybe it's
That trail will shit you out, but it won't take you in.
I need to get in this way so the rebels can take me out that way.
Oh, maybe the rebels can help him get out. Or I
Yeah,
think
but he needed to
these
get
rebels
to
need
the rebels.
I don't know if they can help anybody.
Yeah.
They're
I
not
don't know.
having a good time.
Uh-uh.
He burns the boat, which is pretty cool. You get the first like huge explosion of the movie. Besides when that person got exploded at the beginning.
Oh,
With
yeah.
the mine, but
Yeah.
like because he takes the boat, and she's like, she kept saying like he should have upgraded to that boat. It's way better than his boat.
I thought that too, but it's like they're gonna notice.
They're gonna
like,
look
hey,
for
look
it,
at that
yeah.
white guy driving one of our boats.
Yeah. Plus, it grabs a lot more attention. The boat he has is low profile, like
Low
It
and
looks like a
slow.
fish- Fisher
it's made
boat.
out of
Yeah.
wood. So like maybe in the situation like earlier when he tried to turn it off and sneak by, like it would be less obvious. It's not this big metal
True.
attention
I
grabber.
didn't think about that.
Yeah, I mean it blends in with any other boat that's on there, not this PT boat where it's like, oh, that's a machine of war.
Yeah.
Yes.
Plus, also he hunts snakes, and maybe he needs that low profile to get out there and snake hunt in the river. I don't know.
You don't know much about snake hunting, do you?
No.
Neither do I.
Snakes River, right? Snakes River.
I mean, the mamba is in the river, but I don't think he. Well, no, the Burmese python would be in Burma,
In Burma,
and they like.
but he
water
was going
sometimes.
for cobras.
He was getting
because that
cobras.
stupid
And they
The
cobra
guy
asked-
yelled
show.
at him like, "We don't need any more cobras. We need more pythons."
The Cobra show is so bad too because the guy that's doing the announcing is so disenchanted. He's like, "We got a nice cobra, sleeping cobra, striking cobra. Look at that,
Only
he's touching that
in
cobra.
Thailand. Very
Only in
dangerous
Thailand.
cobra.
Come on,
Oh God, I know.
like, dude, you got to get a new job, man. You've lost all your spark.
You need to take a trip to Florida
Yep.
and see how these fucking reptile show guys do it down there.
Well-
and take a page from that book.
Get you some of that meth that apparently this general is making.
Oh
money
yeah, they
on.
mentioned that these generals or these soldiers are on so much meth, and they're also selling it.
Because he said the general's making millions on meth. And he's like, what? Like millions.
That's
Like,
how they
all
fund
right.
their war.
I mean, don't you want a dry place for meth?
I don't know. I don't make meth.
So,
I'm fifth.
I
plead
don't
the
know.
fifth.
I mean,
I
I would
was going-
imagine you could just. I don't know.
I will
all
ask-
all I know about meth is New Mexico, and that's pretty dry.
I will
Yeah.
ask Checky Cario because when he was on Bad Boys, they had to deal with moisture. I'm gonna ask Checky
you
Cario
go.
if he knows anything about moisture.
That was
meth.
heroin.
yeah, that was,
I know, but moisture is
I
moisture.
want to say they do make meth
Moisture
in
meth.
Hawaii.
Okay.
by the way, we did start talking about meth because of Florida. Come on,
True.
I think it's wetter than Florida. Except for
Ooh, that's
Mississippi.
true.
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, Thailand
Are
is
you
probably
getting?
wetter than Florida.
I think
but-
if you find a nice basement, you can make meth anywhere in America.
yeah, you just
or
need
out of
you,
it.
You just need Sudafed,
you just need an air conditioner to dry up the air.
muriatic acid.
You need big barrels of stuff that turns it blue.
Uh huh. That's how you know that shit's good, bitch.
That's right, bitch. Science, bitch.
You do see her here when they're in the village and they're helping people, and she sees like the severed limbs and the people with like all the fucked up people, and she kind of has this look like, I don't know, killing might be okay.
Yeah. These guys can die. Okay, now I see what Rambo's saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes killing is the answer.
Sometimes it is.
If the math problem is how do you stop evil dictator?
But Michael said
the
it's
answer
never.
is killing. Yeah, never. He's gonna change his tune.
Yes, he is.
And then he cries about it. This
Oh,
is the scene that you were talking about. This is the really brutal. Like they start attacking the village with mortars.
Yeah.
And like they've got like these spike stick things, and they've got flamethrowers, and they're just blasting people.
And I wanted to be so excited for the flamethrower, but I was like, my body was paralyzed and my eyes were crying.
I usually enjoy the use of a flamethrower, but not like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It was.
not like this.
Not like this.
But yeah, like they toss that kid in the fire. And like they're
Like a-
it's
like
fucking,
a fucking ring toss.
dude. It is
It was brutal.
It's brutal. It's
I mean,
brutal.
that's literally the only word. Horrendously brutal.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would assume a lot of these actors, because if you watch the credits, so there's a lot of actors I'm not going to mention by name
Okay.
because I
Out of
am not
respect
going
for
to
you.
attempt to pronounce
Out
any
of
of these
respect.
names
Out
of
because
respect.
I can't do it, and I don't want to sound like a white American.
Yep.
But so a lot of these people were like local to the region at least, and so a lot of them probably have seen a lot of stuff like this. So it's got to be hard for them to act in these scenes. and I don't know how much of this is CG versus real, because they do a good job in the hiding the CG violence in a lot of ways because of the camera movements and stuff. The cinematographer here, and I didn't get his name, and I didn't write down the movies, but I had glanced at just who was doing what, and he did a lot of things with like a lot of CG violence. So I think he knows how to shoot.
This is like some of the better CG that you can find in a movie, and I think
especially for the era,
it's blended. Yeah, this is like the little baby version of CG.
Yeah,
Blended.
And it still looks really good.
It does. It's pretty phenomenal, honestly. Again, this was my first time watching it, and it holds up.
Yeah.
Like, this is 2008. We're now in 2023. I said 2008 last night, by the way.
2008.
I mean, it's not wrong.
So yeah, we see all that, and then they take the church people, at least the ones that don't die.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them gets fucking lit up by a flamethrower.
I don't know why they take the women, or they rape them, and
but they're killing.
They take the
young
white
boys
people, but
too.
they kill everybody else.
I know a lot of
those
these
are
boys.
soldiers for you in the future if
No,
you do
because
it right.
they only had one leg.
Well, I don't know
a
if
lot
this
of
is-
them only had one leg.
Oh,
I
okay,
think
all
maybe
right.
they're like killing everybody because it's punishment for
Yeah.
being with outsiders and that kind of thing.
Yeah, but you know what?
Although
Or they were high
they're
and
treating
just
them as outsiders, they think that they're calling, like, one of the things I read when I was reading about the conflict is that they talked about like getting rid of foreigners, and they're talking about these Buddhists who live there that
the
are
indigenous.
yeah. So
They're outsiders by religion only.
we get now Rambo's dreaming, and we see the other three movies.
Yeah.
It's where the only time you see Richard Crenna and you hear him.
It's in case you never watched the first three. It's like you don't have to really.
Yeah, it's quick flashes. They're out of order and stuff, and it's mixed with some stuff from this movie with Julie Benz, and you get the "Nothing is over."
Nothing.
And it ends with Crenna yelling "John Rambo," and then he wakes up, and then we've got this guy Arthur Marsh, played by Ken Howard,
Which
who's
is
the leader of the church, the Colorado
I
church.
had just recently wrapped up watching 30 Rock, and he's the guy that ends up buying NBC.
Oh, really?
He owns Cabletown, and the funny thing is, his character does not shut up about going to Vietnam. Like, he's always like, just like the damn VC when I was there, took out half my intestines. Like,
I never finished 30 Rock. He shows up at the end?
yeah, he's in the
okay.
later. I don't know. I don't want to say the last 3 seasons, really.
I think I saw, how many are there, like 8?
Yeah.
I think I saw like 4 or 5, so I probably just missed him.
Yeah, he's
probably seen
great at what he
one.
does. Hank Hooper, I want to say.
I taper off on a lot of American sitcoms because it's like 24 episodes.
Five
I start
seasons
watching
is your
something
sweet
else.
spot.
Yeah. I
It
start
really
getting-
is.
Unless, I mean, sometimes I'll stick around, but I start getting like drifting. I'm
Uh-huh.
like, I'll finish that later. I'm going to watch this real quick. And then 2 years later, I'm like, I haven't watched that at all.
Yeah.
we just saw this guy.
Yeah. Last night we saw him in the constantly mentioned Melrose Place.
Yeah. He
Oh, really?
plays
He plays,
Allison, or not Allison.
Jane Mancini's
Dad.
adopted father, I guess.
Oh, he's
That's
You
what
can
that's what
adopt
the internet
dads?
said, but they don't mention it in that episode.
You can just adopt a dad now?
Yeah.
Okay.
She adopted.
I'm in
she
the market
adopted
for
him.
one, so I mean,
I mean,
anybody out there wants to be adopted as my father, let me know.
do you want my stepdad? He's awesome.
I don't know. Like, well, when you say want him?
As your father.
Oh, okay, good.
So yeah, he's telling them basically they should have returned 10 days ago. So they waited a while to mount this rescue mission.
They've been gone for 2 years. I don't think they're coming back.
It's like they should have returned 10 days ago, and they were kidnapped on their first day. And who knows how long they were supposed to be there?
Yeah.
A couple weeks maybe. So it's like they should have. They were kidnapped a month ago.
yeah,
Jesus fuck.
it's been a while.
Oh, here it is. He says, "When you're pushed, killing's as easy as breathing."
Oh, yeah.
There you
nice,
go.
so-
See?
So he goes back now with some
Good
mercenaries. Like, this guy hired people who, quote, have experience in this part of the world. And he's like, "You mean mercenaries?"
He's also making a machete.
Oh,
As
he
that-
makes his own knife. So this knife was made by the guy who made the knife for 3, which is different than the guy who made the knives for 1 and 2.
I noticed that in 3, it's more stylized. It's got
and
like
this
missing
guy, I guess
piece in
this
the
guy is
middle.
known as like a fantasy swordsmith for like movies and
Okay,
stuff.
it's a good fucking title to have.
It really is.
We do get a little bit of the iconic Rambo knife. Schoolboy has one.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
He's got like the serrated back and
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
I was like, all right, at least it made an appearance.
And he
I
has the
worry
compass.
that knife's not getting enough work in Hollywood, and its little baby daggers aren't going to be able to eat.
Aw.
So here are the mercenaries that I have. We have Enju, who is played by Tim Kang, who is, I guess, most well known for, he was on The Mentalist. He was in like every episode of
Yes.
The Mentalist. Kimball Cho.
I didn't recognize
Never
him.
watched it, but
I did.
I felt like I recognized him, but I feel like it's not from that. So I don't know. A lot of these guys are like character actors, so it's like, I've been in 254 things. So
I haven't seen in a while, but is he in Captain America? That one of the
I think he was someone on
Howling
here was,
Commandos.
So I think that makes sense. He might have been him.
Okay.
I think I saw someone was in
someone-
Captain America, but it was like Soldier or something, so I didn't look at it because it
They
was like
they take out it's when Captain America like rescues everybody, and I think it's Dum Dum Dugan's like, we're taking everybody now, and he pulls out his dog tags because he's an Asian dude.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's born in Fresno, Ace. If it's the same character.
I mean, he has like the stubble and stuff, and it's like,
Yeah.
like the not really stubble.
It's
I
a
mean,
good-looking Asian
manicured,
dude with a
but-
beard.
yeah.
I mean, he's pretty
I'm
handsome.
gonna
man.
typecast you a little bit here.
Yeah.
Then we have Schoolboy, played by Matthew Marsden, who is, out of all these people, been in the least things that you would know. Every character he had didn't have a name other than this one.
Guy 3.
But he ends up being the main kind of guy in this one.
and I'm
other
for
than
it. I
Rambo, so.
was eating him up.
I thought he
Yeah.
did a great job.
Yeah.
I didn't hate him.
He's the sniper, and he gets to snipe a bunch of people, which is fun. Diaz, played by Ray Gallegos.
I
who
knew
was,
him from Burn Notice.
Okay, he was the thing it looked like he was on the most of, and again, I just get a cursory glance, was Sons of Anarchy. He played a guy named Fiasco. He was in like 13 episodes. I never watched it, so
I wonder if he was
I wonder
a
if he's one of the
Mayan?
cartel guys.
Oh, see, I was thinking Mayan.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Yeah.
could be.
It could
I never
be.
watched it, so I don't know. I watched the
I
first
did,
two
but-
episodes.
I
and
tried to
was bored.
rewatch it again, and I fell off at the exact same point after
Yeah.
they go to Ireland.
Oh, but I know if you can see it, that's such a boring fucking part.
I watched 2 episodes, and I'm just like, I love.
Shortly after they kill Opie.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck's his name?
Titus,
I love him
Titus
too.
because he's in it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I
As
don't,
an
think, I don't
Irishman.
think he's even in
I
the
don't need
parts
heart
where
and
I
goddamn
saw.
brains.
Yes.
But the
And
fucking
I honestly
Ron
thought he
Perlman.
was.
Ron
So
Perlman,
sorry.
yeah.
I love Ron Perlman, but I just and I love Peggy Bundy.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't. I don't know. I couldn't get into it.
Is it because Jax Teller's accent comes through every now and then? Like Charlie Hunnam, I mean, just don't have him be American. Just always British, you know?
I don't know. It was boring to me. Everybody I know loves it, and I was just like, eh. Anyway,
Oh, can I say something going completely off topic?
no.
Not allowed in this podcast.
So we just finished up The Bear. Or
Oh,
Bear.
yeah. I got 4 episodes to go.
Oh my god. So when Michael is in Denmark with,
doing
with the guy with the
desserts.
eyebrows,
Yeah.
I was
Will something.
I was
Coulter.
like, God,
Thank
that is a wonderful English accent. Like it looks real.
I didn't know he had such a good English accent.
He's fucking English.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I was like, don't you know that every actor in American TV is English or Canadian?
well,
Come on.
because he
We
does
play a
his-
fun game, me and the Bleeps, when we're watching. We're like, I bet you he or she's British.
yeah.
Because
Well,
you can almost always tell.
Yeah.
in We Are the Millers, I could not fucking tell.
And he's
Yeah.
pretty young, so that's pretty good being able to cover it up at that age. And then
Same with Tom Holland.
Yep.
yeah,
Tom Holland.
dude, Tom Holland is becoming un-British.
Yeah,
Mel
he is.
Gibsoning.
I saw a like a
100
convention thing.
Yes.
He was talking, and he's talking in his normal voice, and he was trying to say something, and I can't remember what the word was, and he kept saying it, and he like stop and say it again, and he's like, that doesn't sound right, and so he says it in his American like Spider-Man voice, and he's like, there we go, like he just couldn't.
I remember that. I watched
Yeah, I
that.
can't remember what the
good.
word was, but he's like, it just doesn't sound right when I say it like that.
Yeah. No, he's Mel Gibsoning, man, because like Mel used to have a thick accent. Now there's none. Like he just talked it right out.
Yeah.
He was not from Australia.
He prayed to the American god of hate, which is to say Jesus.
Yes.
I was thinking of, God damn it, why can't I remember anybody's name?
Russell
Doesn't
Crowe.
matter. That guy that was in American Gods, that's the old guy that's in a bunch of shit.
Ian McShane.
Ian McShane. I was like, the American God of Hate, that's Ian McShane.
That's Ian.
I'm on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mr.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Okay.
Odin.
I was just watching Deadwood last night, man. He's
Ugh.
fucking so good.
I need to watch that.
Yeah,
I
we
still
do.
haven't.
Cocksucker.
I'm excited
get
for
that
Justified.
reference.
I feel like that's what they say most of the time. That's from
I
the
will
references
tell
I've
you,
heard.
you
is-
gotta watch with subtitles because they're speaking another language. It's English, but it's not English like henceforth are you against the way that I propose to be against it. Like, who are you trying to fight? I
It's
don't
a-
know if you guys are mad at each other or if you're on the same fucking page.
Oh, I was thinking it was like fucking Brad Pitt, but doing the
Oh, and Snatch.
What the fuck? They got casinos, got no fucking craps tables for.
I'm
Which
sorry.
is funny
come again?
because when I first saw that movie, I had to watch it with subtitles. Now I watch it and I'm like, "What? You can't understand him?"
Yeah, you don't hear that. He wants a caravan, and the curtains have to be periwinkle blue, and the boys get a pair of them shoes.
Fucking dags.
Thanks.
So then we get Lewis, who's played by Graham McTavish, who also was in 24.
Uh-huh.
But his bigger things are he played Dwalin in the Hobbit series, which is one of the dwarves. He's the angry dwarf with the bald head that likes to cut
My
things.
favorite introduction, or my big one, is he was in Preacher as
Oh,
the Killer
okay.
of Saints or the Saint of Killers. I can't remember. I think it's the Killer of Saints.
He's in The Witcher season 2 also.
Okay.
He's and I don't know how to pronounce it, Dykstra, I want to say.
Yeah.
But he's like the spy master guy who's kind of on the Witcher's side, but also is definitely hiring. He's the one who hires the singer kid to like spy on him, kind of, and like
He's called a bard.
whatever. The singer kid. The one who tosses coins at The Witcher. And then we have Reese, played by Jake LaBatz, who is a real like blues singer. And most of his roles, as I went through his thing, have been playing either like bluesman or folk singer or whatever. He's done some other things.
Bit of a typecast.
One of the
bit.
bigger ones is True Detective, but it's season 2, which I didn't see. Season 1 was great. Season 2 I heard was trash, so I didn't watch it. He plays Conway Twitty. So again,
Oh, nice. I
singing.
might have to watch that just for that.
Yeah.
I do like Graham McTavish here because he's, pontificating about like, oh, these fucking holy people. You got to send in the devil to do God's work, isn't it? Pointing to himself,
the
know.
devil. And Rambo's just like, right.
You
Rambo's
know
not saying a
nothing of my
fucking word to him.
Yeah, and it's pissing him off. He's like, you could drop the 1,000-yard stare. I've seen all your con before. No, you have not.
You're right. He does go full
You're just
Woody
a
Allen.
boatman.
You know nothing of my work.
You know nothing. So yeah, I do love how they're exiting, and one of the non Grand McTavish mercenaries like, someone want to tell me what the boatman's doing?
Yeah.
And he's grabbing his sheath, like the case is not his knife, but what could be in there? Oh, I don't know.
Definitely not his bow.
It's not his bow. Spoilers.
The whole time he is also bitching about how slow this boat is going.
Oh
Yeah.
God, it's like
But
4 scenes.
I could have
in-
swam longer
It's
than
a long trolling motor. It's not like he can give it more gas.
Well, I love it because the Graham McTavish is just talking so much shit, and Rambo just glares at him and then just looks for it. Doesn't speak the whole time. He's
Yeah.
just like, eat a dick. First, he doesn't even look at him. He's just ignoring him, and then eventually he just like turns and stares at him, and that's when he gives him the 1,000-yard
he
stare
looks at
comment.
him and spits.
Yeah.
That says all you need to know about how he feels about you,
Yep.
Graham.
But yeah, Graham McTavish is telling him like, you're the boatman. You stay with the boat. Which, by the way, the boatman, that's kind of a ominous reference, right?
Yeah. The fucking to carry you over and the river Styx.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly.
Ooh.
That's what you're referencing, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. That's
the
what I
boat-
was thinking.
think
like,
about
the
that.
boatman
Yeah,
who
the
takes
boatman.
souls.
Yeah.
He's ferrying them over to Hades.
I mean, he just did.
I think it's
'Cause-
Carry-on?
Carrion, yeah, or
Carrion.
something like that.
Yeah, that's the boatman.
Okay.
If you know your Greek mythology.
CHAR.
I was obsessed when I was a kid, but I forgot
Maybe
that
it's
shit.
Sharon. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not Greek.
No, Charon's married to Sharon Stone. Sharon Stone.
She might be the harbinger of death.
She might be. She can take
But
me
he does
anytime.
have Graham McTavish has a nice like racist comment here when he's like my men are staying with the boat, and he's like, no, I want a white man to stay with it,
Yeah.
not some word I probably shouldn't say.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Use your
offensive it is, but
imagination.
starts with a D, and it's a slur for Asian people.
Mm-hmm.
You might have to do some deep diving if you're that curious, but
Just watch the movie.
And of course,
Yeah.
Enju looks at him like this fucking guy. 'Cause it's the second time he's made a comment about Asian people, and he's
I
like,
mean, let's
"Fucking
be
A,
honest,
dude."
though. Outside of an African American, this is the small world of mercenaries.
Yeah,
Like, they grabbed a little bit from each country.
Yeah,
so
they
that
did.
way you couldn't be like, oh, it's a bunch of English mercenaries. No, we got them all.
yeah.
It's like
They're-
Pokemon.
There are no black people in this movie, though.
No.
They did.
Stallone still didn't want to include any black people.
Wow.
This is
Crazy.
the fourth in a row.
Wait till Rambo 5 when he goes to Africa.
Doesn't he go to Mexico? I've never seen it.
Oh, sorry, Rambo 6 that I'm writing right now.
okay.
Oh,
I was like, I swear, Rambo 5, he fights like a cartel.
No, Rambo 6, Ernest goes to Africa.
Ernest goes to
Oh
Africa.
God, that's a movie we probably shouldn't cover. I was gonna say we should do, but I'm like, I don't know.
We
It feels
can
like I'm
watch
very
it, but
troublesome.
I don't know. I haven't seen it in decades. I don't know if that's doable for us.
Yeah,
We'll find out.
It seems like a lot
Stay
of probably
tuned.
not appropriate humor.
Yeah.
We do get a cut to the village here, or to the army camp, whatever, and it shows basically like these guys are all tied up and stuff, and they're feeding them to the pigs.
Yeah.
She
Oh my
commented, she's like, "Oh
God.
look, more pig shit."
I thought that too. I was like, because at one point they're going through a river, and I was like, is this just a river of pig shit?
Yeah.
And it wasn't, thank
Ugh.
God. But it does show these hogs. They got one of our guys tied up and
he-
his legs are dangling, and he must have bled out
Yeah.
because that leg is missing.
Yeah,
when they get
and
there
that
later
pig
to
is-
try to rescue them, yeah, he's already
Yeah,
gone.
he
But this is
did.
when they're like, hey, give him to the pigs. And you're like, oh, that's cool. So it's like Hannibal.
I'm expecting, speaking of Snatch, I'm expecting Bricktop to fucking come out.
That's what I was going to say. It's
I'll
like
give a
Hannibal
fuck if
or
he's
Snatch.
Ahmaud, Bruce Ahmaud Lee.
And they have Sarah like bound by her neck to underneath a building.
Yeah, underneath
Or in a
like
cage?
it's underneath like I think it's Tint's like place.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's like his private prisoner.
So and that's what he keeps coming out and looking at her. I'm like, man, like I'm not complaining, but story-wise, she should have been like raped by now by this guy.
I mean,
right?
Multiple
I feel
times.
like
Multiple
maybe they're
times.
implying that she was.
Not by Tent.
No, we find out why.
Because then we go later, and Tent has a little boy brought to his place.
okay.
Because that's why I was like, they're trying to imply that he's gonna rape her.
So maybe he gets pleasure by seeing a woman bound,
Yep.
but then that's not who he wants
He's
to
got
do.
some mommy issues.
He's got a
it's
very
fine.
Roman thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
he's
does.
like, women are for reproduction, little boys are for fun.
I wonder if he just kind of was like, this is the whitest, blondest lady or thing we have. If we need to negotiate, this is
Yeah.
what we use. Fuck these guys. Like, I'm going to feed them to the hogs.
Yep.
But yeah, we come to find out that there's nothing wrong with being a homosexual. There's a lot wrong with being a fucking child molester.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't care what you have sex with as
I
long as
kind
it's
of hate that
consensual.
Rambo didn't stop that. He saw it happening. I mean, I
That-
get it because it would jeopardize the mission.
I know, but
like,
that would have been a great story. Like the one you're writing right now, where it's like, hey, we can go in, extract them, easy peasy, no one make a fucking noise. And then Rambo's like, well, I can't let him fuck that boy.
Yeah.
And then it's all
I mean,
hell.
I guess he gets the treatment that any boy fucker or child fucker should get by the end of this movie.
He
Yeah.
does. He does. But I like your story right here.
Yeah.
Like, that's why it went south.
I thought that's what it was going to be. That was going to make the mission go south. But this is just. I mean, a lot of this is a rehash of Rambo too, because he like successfully complete the mission, and then in the morning they get found out,
Yep.
and then it goes.
Well,
tits
they
up.
have this whole plan stating that
Set
there's
your watches.
over 100 people here.
Yeah,
And there's
at
only
least 100 soldiers.
six
yeah.
of us.
Yep.
So we need to in and out 15 minutes
Well,
max.
if Rambo kills 50 of them, you all need to kill 10.
One of the guys is like, we can't go up against 100 people, and then Rambo's like, well, you haven't seen 300.
I mean, I got it.
Everyone, take your shirts off and grease your chests.
This is Thailand.
This is Burma.
I mean, it's Burma, but they're shooting in Thailand.
Rambo.
And we get they have these guys that are leading them back, and of course it's like one rebel who's a young person, and then another one who's a very young kid, and they're leading them back to the rebel camp, and we get what'd you say, Rambo's arsenal or something like for the Chekhov's gun for this? Because
Yeah.
they walk by and they see this unexploded bomb, and the kid's like, "Oh, that's a tall boy bomb. The English dropped it in World War II, and it didn't go off."
I think I
and
said
immediately she was just like, "Oh, yeah,
Rambo's
that's
rocket."
Rambo's rocket.
I
That's
wonder
coming
if that'll
back."
come back.
Which is one of the coolest and worst parts of
So
the movie.
I don't
Yeah.
know anything about the flag of Burma, but this guy's jacket, it actually looks like German. A German flag, not a swastika,
Yeah.
but the actual country of Germany.
Oh, okay.
It looked like that flag, but now we're talking about there was a World War II thing here.
Yeah.
So this could just be like whatever's left over,
yeah,
pick it up.
surplus stuff that they've
Yeah.
just been
So
using.
I don't
That
know what
makes
the
sense.
flag of Burma looks like, but
I couldn't tell you. I failed that.
you could tell me. I just don't know if it'd be real.
It's purple and green.
Oh, I believe it. I bet it's beautiful.
So they get to the village where the people got kidnapped from because they're trying to like track back to the camp, even though the kid said he knew where the camp was. So I don't know why he took him here.
But the older guy was like, no, we can't take you there. We can take you to where they were dropped off. It's conflicting from these two. It sounds like.
Okay. And they get there, and it's just the carnage that's left over. There's just rotting corpses everywhere.
Can you
It's just-
fathom
Ugh.
this
That
smell?
smell?
Because like
No.
you're looking out on fields of bodies, some still smoldering,
Some bloated.
there's
Flies
hanged,
everywhere.
There's hanged ones that are still up, like, and you have the actors are covering their noses and whatnot. So, but I'm just like watching, like I cannot even. Luckily, I cannot begin to fathom that.
One
smell.
of the mercenaries does even say like, I've seen a lot of shit, and I ain't never seen no shit like
Yeah.
this.
The only person that's kind of would be comfortable with it if he was there was Rambo.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
And he's not with them at this point.
He was told to
he's,
stay with the
he's
boat.
already
He's a-
there.
he's a
They
good
just don't know
listener.
that.
Yeah.
They're terrible mercenaries, by the way, because he is tracking them the whole time. They
Yeah.
don't even know he's there.
But he's staying high.
Yeah, he's
So
'cause he's
am I.
obviously hiding. He comes out. They do another one of these mine races, and this is where they find out that we find out that they're betting
They're
on
betting
him.
on him.
They throw like 3 mines in this rice paddy and make these people run. And when none of them blow up, they make them run back the other way. And it's just like, it's fucking fucked up, man.
And they can't they don't want to take out these people. It's like, well, then the whole fucking 100 is going to be on us.
Yeah.
They're gonna, you know, if they hear us shootings.
And the kid from the rebel army is like, you can see him like stewing, like he's gonna get up and start shooting here in a second.
Yeah.
And most of these mercenaries, I mean, even Graham McTavish, who is kind of like the one that doesn't give a shit, is just looking like, fuck, man, we really need to do something. But if we do, again, like you said, if we kill these people and they don't go back, they're gonna know.
Yeah.
And Graham McTavish, forgive my language, but he's a real cunt. Like the character.
I
Yeah.
made the comment. I was like, when does he fucking die?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, well, I assume all these people die pretty soon, but
I think we
They
only
make
lose
it
one
most of the way.
mercenary.
I
think it's
at
two.
least two.
I know the Asian dude.
And then him, and
Yeah,
then
and Drew
Diaz,
catches on fire.
and then I think maybe one of the other ones.
Diaz
Because
catches
at
on
the
fire.
end, at the end, Julie Benz is looking around at all the dead people who helped. Like, oh, these people died because we wouldn't fucking listen to what Rambo said.
Yeah.
All the people who died.
Exactly.
They were all my mercenaries, and they
Just
died.
I do want to say real quick, it took 35 minutes before Rambo was even said in this movie, because when people ask his name, he says
John.
John.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
it's
was when he
only
was
said
dreaming
once.
at 35 minutes, and that's it. They don't say it again.
He's leaving that. He's trying to leave Rambo behind.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, I'm John the Snake Wrangler.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Unlike Rambo 2.
They call me Johnny
Yeah.
Snakes.
Rambo 2 is like,
She
hey,
says it.
only call me Rambo.
Rambo.
Hey,
What are you doing,
Rambo.
Rambo? Hey, Rambo.
Rambo, what are you doing, Rambo?
You should have heard him have sex.
Rambo shows up here and just shoots a fucking arrow right through some dude's face. Well, he hits him in the shoulder, and the guy like turns, and then he fucking right through his head into a post behind him.
Beautiful.
Pretty
The only thing
awesome.
I was mad about, not mad, but because he's arrow, and I'm like, all right, he can go pick all
Where's
these
your
up.
quiver?
Except for one guy falls into a mine. There goes your 2 arrows now. Damn it.
Which is also great, though. That guy
It is
falls into that
great.
mine, and it's just chunks and a viscera flying
Oh,
At
everywhere.
least he's
and
not
you
bleeding
get
out.
chunks.
Yeah, you get chonky blow up.
The one word to describe this film is viscera.
Yes.
Yes. I think
Which
we
is
agree on
the
that.
benefit of CG in this case, because you can shoot people with squibs in movies. You can't viscerize people
Unless you use a
without
dummy.
CG.
I was gonna say he kind of did in Rambo 2, right after
They do blow up,
Homegirl gets killed. He takes that rocket that Rambo propelled
Yeah, he
grenade, and he just blows that guy
Which
up.
they also do show in the flashback that he's having the dream, which I was like,
You're
yeah.
"Hey, that was a good shot. Put
Yeah,
it back in." Yeah, no, you're not wrong. People are being eviscerated, and I'm happy about it.
He does the SAS guy basically after this is like, well, you still can't go with us or whatever, or no, we're not going, like, because you fucked us. And he holds this bow and arrow. He has this arrow inches from this guy's eye.
Oh my God, Graham's
I don't even
eye.
know if it would fly.
That was what I was thinking. I was like, is that going to be enough? But it would still go through his eye.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's not gonna. I don't know if it would go through his skull. I don't know.
I
I don't know.
feel
Because you got to
it
build up some
would.
speed. But it's
No,
also. I mean, this is like a
it's-
compound bow with a lot of pressure behind it. Like,
It's Rambo.
It's Rambo.
It'll
it's
go
a Rambo.
through.
Yeah, it's his Rambo and arrow.
It skull fucks him if he released.
He's like, well, you could go, but you're either gonna live for nothing or die for something.
He said it.
And so we get to the camp. They're sneaking in. The soldier guys are all watching. They're all in this one hut, and they're watching these girls dance. And I'm sitting here going, like, I feel bad for these 4 girls.
They're-
But blow up this fucking hut, and
Yeah.
this movie's over.
Oh yeah, you're making a much better life for these people by.
They would
killing-
rather be dead.
I would.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
how
would.
many times have these women already been raped, and then they're about to get like gang raped again? And it's
They're
like,
about. Yeah, this is the village's. Not village. The base. This is their idea of fun.
yeah.
And you can see how much they are hating being up there. Like they're trying to do like some weird hula thing. I don't
Probably
know.
like a cultural
and
dance.
I do,
and
but-
it's miserable.
yeah.
Did you happen to
it's so
notice how
sad.
they do last call here? They just
The-
throw a
the
red,
red-
smoke
the red
grenade.
smoke
Yes.
grenade.
I started thinking, I want to do that at the bar from now on. Like, all right, ka-ching, whew,
I think that
red
was.
smoke, get the fuck out, dude.
I think that was more of like. I mean, it is when the party dispersed, but I think that was to give you like a reason for like red lighting during this scene where they start because they get tired of watching these girls sad dance, and the guy goes up and starts throwing her around and throws one of the girls to the group, and
Ooh,
it gives you that red
she get-
lighting for that like
They
this is
just-
not good.
I still maintain
tear
it's
her
last
apart.
call.
I mean, I would.
They
I like
tear
it.
her apart.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Back to Derek's point, you could blow this hut up. Movie
Yeah.
movie over, and you lost the 4 girls' lives that were about to have a real bad life anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they all kind of split up. Rambo has a good like plan, and this is the first time we've seen Rambo work with a team. He had Krenna for part of 3, but this is the first time he really works with a full team, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to see, like, you've got the sniper who goes up to the tower and takes that one dude out, and then as they drive the truck through, and they have the kid who is like their guide dressed up like one of the soldiers.
Yeah.
So that this way the truck is still returning, nobody's questioning
They're
anything.
waving them through.
And they're just like jumping
and
out.
They jump out, space themselves out through the
It was
camp.
really fucking cool.
It was
like, You're
beautiful.
just dumping off mercenaries at every couple of feet.
And this part of the mission didn't go tits up, but it was still really fun to watch. It was a well executed, like, Black Ops mission.
Yeah.
They're sneaking through. They do kill a couple people. That one guy who's about to rape that girl that's the one that Rambo tears his throat out and leaves him. And when Tent finds him in the morning, there's just blood running from underneath his, like, hut into the water
This is gonna
underneath.
take weeks to get out.
Don't worry about that. No one's going to care in a couple minutes.
Where you're going, you don't need sponges.
No, you don't.
Is this the one where no, that's later with Tent. This is the one where Rambo, like, pops up behind the guy, right, in the background. It's kind of his hidden kill.
Not
Well, this is-
yet. That's when they all get found out.
Yeah.
Okay, because he does sneak in to kill this rapist.
We
guy.
text about it. That's full Rambo.
Yes.
But we're not there just yet. So
Okay,
we're still
okay.
extracting.
You're right. That's with Tent later.
Our beautiful
or not
Asian
Tent, but the guy with the
mercenary-
50 cal. That's
yeah.
what yeah.
Our beautiful Asian mercenary also stops a chick from getting raped.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
She's
does.
getting thrown around, and he kind of like gives the finger to the lips sign, crawls under, and as soon as the guy looks for her, that he fucking, he starts pig sticking this guy
Yeah, he
in the
does.
side.
Just.
It was awesome.
I was here for it.
One of the soldiers does take Sarah and is, like, presumably taking her to go rape her.
Yeah.
And we get Twinkle Toes here. Like, the guy is walking with her, and you just see Rambo in the background, like Bigfoot. Just
We're talking about the biggest fucking frame sneaking through this jungle. I mean, good
it was
God.
one of the only laugh out loud moments of the movie, other than when you're laughing at, like, extreme violence.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was a laugh out loud moment, at least for me. But I laugh at weird shit, all right?
Some of the guards do see Rambo and Sarah, but that doesn't last long. That's the last.
Oh, because
thing
they kept talking about, like, set your watches to 1:45 or whatever the time was. I'm like, man, what? I don't really understand this, because as soon as it hits 2 is when Schoolboy starts taking people out.
Yeah.
That's when now we're getting 50 cal action. And you want to talk about, sorry to interrupt you, you want to talk about some more dismemberment, because this rifle is a 50 cal. It's not just the one on the Jeep.
Oh,
It's-
no, yeah.
Oh, it
it's a
is
Barrett 50 cal. When he hits your head, holy
it's
shit.
gone.
And that's why the 50 cal machine gun is so impressive, because I'm more familiar with 50 cal being a sniper rifle.
Yeah.
Because you have a large caliber that'll take out anybody.
It'll go
It can
miles.
travel a very long distance. But this later on, when he blasts these people, one of those guys is less than inches from the barrel.
Oh,
And
yes.
50 cals to the body.
When he
That's
jumps on
that's
the
one
truck.
of the worst and better CG moments of the movie.
And
It
it's
doesn't
just
look good,
blood.
but it is so wonderful.
We're getting to my bad CG moment.
I think we're all going to be on the
inching
same
up
one
there,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, we are.
But so yeah, Schoolboy saves them, so fucking just blows these guards apart.
It's fun to see.
That was not
I think
my
he
movie.
goes through 2 at once, right? Like
Uh-huh.
they're both
At
standing
one
there, and
point,
he
yeah.
just blasts right through
Which,
both
I
of
mean,
them.
like, ballistics wise, that would happen if it's not traveling too far of a distance. That 50 cal will overpenetrate.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
just-
it's not that far. This is not a big camp.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's presumably at, like, the first tower, because he went up there before they snuck in, so they're right there at the
yeah,
entrance.
he did a sneaky sneak stab.
Yeah, and the other soldiers,
the
the
move.
other mercenaries have left
That's my
them
sex life.
because they were supposed to be back at 1:45, and Rambo wasn't back yet because he went out of his way to go get Sarah because she got taken. So the other guys have
Are
left.
your fingers broken? You could have called. Supposed to be here 1:45. You're a bit late, honey.
But Graham wants to.
Well, Graham did leave. Graham
He's like,
McTavish,
"We're all leaving."
Yeah, he knew what time to be here, and that I think Schoolboy is the one that's like, well, I'll wait, because Schoolboy
Yeah.
had already come back down. I think.
As much of an asshole as Graham McTavish is, he's like, look, we got some of them. We got almost all of them.
Yeah,
we gotta go.
The other guy, Michael, keeps trying to. He's like, no, we have to go back and get her, and he just punches him in the face. He's like, stop! You're gonna fuck this whole thing up.
Yep.
Michael's got a very punchable face.
He does.
I mean, I thought the same thing in Sopranos. He's that fucking shitty priest that's trying to fuck Tony Soprano's wife.
I
the
think
whole
they did
time.
have sex.
I think that maybe they did, or they had like at least an
little affair,
emotional
yeah.
affair.
Hey,
but,
I'm
like,
just happy that she was of age.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, Priest's been trying to fuck for a while.
But like that whole time, he's just so fucking scummy, and you're just
Yeah.
like, just kill him, Tony.
How's that gonna feel to be like an actor that's still working and getting paid, but it's like, well, you're gonna have to be the shithead weasel. You're gonna play the child molester. You're gonna play the shitty account. Like your typecast is being an asshole and a shitbird.
I mean, not everybody can be beautiful, right?
Oh, and not everybody can be Sam Elliott. Typecast is beautiful.
Ask fuck. And I love the guy, and I don't know why I can't remember his name.
Give me an example.
He's in Stone Cold.
Lance Henriksen?
No, the other one.
William Forsythe?
William Forsythe, thank you. Ask William Forsythe, because he's always been cast as a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
Even when he's a
literally,
cop.
his IMDb description is basically like, he has these piercing eyes and a commanding presence, and he's good at being a piece of shit. That's like the whole description of him.
Damn.
I just always think about that when it's like, especially a lot of like Law and Order type shows. It's like, oh, that guy's been a child molester and 5 or 6 other things. Like he probably gets the phone call, like, yeah, I'll do it. Let me guess the role. Is it the child molester? It's a paycheck.
Makes you wonder.
I'll just, you just have that look.
We
Act
have
what you know?
Yeah, people have we have a
An idea.
predisposed idea of what certain types of characters look like, and some people look like those characters.
Yeah, you got like a thin little mustache, not because you shaped it, because you can't grow it. You got a balding head. You've got a big gut, and yeah, there's your child molester.
I mean,
that's what we want them to look like.
well,
yeah.
exactly. We don't want them to look like normal people.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at like
I mean, that's so wrong.
who's the sexy serial killer?
Normal
Was it
people.
Dahmer
Sexy serial killer?
or
No.
Bundy? You look at someone like Ted Bundy.
I mean,
in real
depends.
life.
Some people found Dahmer sexy.
Well, you know what I mean, though. Like overall, like when the
Bundy
trial
was
and
the
stuff.
charismatic one.
Yeah, the trial
Yeah.
and stuff. The one that Zac Efron
Yeah.
played, right?
Yeah, of course.
You look at someone like him, and like you don't think like, well, that guy's murdering people and
Yeah.
making furniture.
I think that
out
was
their
part of how he
bodies.
got so many victims. People are like, well, I mean, I know there's a serial killer out there, but they don't look like him.
Yeah, exactly.
He's too pretty.
I mean, they do look
Way
like him.
too
They're
pretty.
white and they're middle and they're like in their 30s, but yeah, and they're male.
Yeah.
But
He looks exactly like him. I know, but he's gorgeous.
exactly. So
He said I looked like a sunrise.
So the
You
soldiers
look like a sunset.
Oh, I'm going down.
Yeah, you are.
you started out beautiful, but by the end, everything's dark.
You start off as a sunrise, but now you got to go down like a sunset. Oh.
Get it, girl.
Oh, you got me up like the sunrise. Now go down.
After the sunrise, though, I need a long nap. We can't have a sunrise for a couple hours, man. The sun needs time to recuperate. It'll be there, but it's gonna be like an eclipse.
Just don't look directly at it.
I tell people that
Now
all the
look away.
time. It could go off in my hand at any minute now.
You got to put on these glasses. You got to put the box on your head.
That's a fetish.
And throw in an Asteroid City reference, right?
Yeah. I was gonna put in a Jim Carrey, or not Jim Carrey, in Jimmy
Trump.
Stewart.
Oh, Jimmy Stewart.
Just look at it.
Donald
now look
Stewart,
away.
I just said Donald.
Oh, would you mind saluting the penis a bit?
All right,
There's
now take it out. Now look at it. Now look away.
Dana Carvey does.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm. At the end, he's like, "Would you mind saluting it a bit?"
I love Dana Carvey.
It's Nikki time.
So the Graham McTavish steps on a mine like a fucking idiot.
Yep.
I mean, I guess it's, people step on mines. That's why they're there.
Yeah, but we don't like him, so
Yeah,
it's
it's fine.
he's an
fine.
idiot.
Yeah.
He doesn't die though. His leg gets shredded to fucking bits.
Yeah, it does.
And luckily, Michael is a
punchable
doctor
Michael.
because they're like, take off his boot, and he's like, don't fucking take off his boot.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he'll bleed out or something.
That's what I'm
or,
thinking
Yeah,
too.
it's
Like
keeping-
this is keeping something together.
yeah, safe from infection.
Got a meatloaf shin.
Yeah, it does. Ugh.
And then,
Don't eat during these movies.
I mean, do if you can handle it.
oh yeah, I don't care about any of that.
I just wouldn't eat anything like bolognese.
I was thinking about making a bolognese today, and then I was like, maybe not.
Bolognese.
Ooh.
You gotta be careful with that. You cook it too much, and your house is just ping, ping, ping.
Didn't we learn that in not the Matrix, the other one? That there's John Wick,
I was like Johnny Mnemonic.
where he puts them in the oven or
Oh,
something.
There's that,
Was
but it's
it- is
also
it
in
4?
red.
Red. That's because I was
Red. He
thinking
puts
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis puts the. I think it doesn't matter. He puts the bullets in
in
the
the-
cast iron,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and they start going off, and the wet work team thinks that he's shooting.
Oh, okay.
Fun movie.
I
It
saw
is.
Red once. I don't remember
I liked it.
I rewatched it recently, and it was better than I remember. Like it was. I didn't think it would be that good again, but I like Bruce Willis. I like Carl Urban.
Well, that's why I went and saw it. I was like, Bruce Willis, Carl Urban, fucking Morgan Freeman.
Johnny Malk.
Yeah, and I was like, this is going to be great. And I saw it in theaters, and I just remember being like, meh.
Johnny
Yeah.
Mouth plays like kind of crazy, right?
Oh yeah.
But that mid 2000s action like thing where they were doing like obscure comics that were action things, I got burnt out on it.
I understand
real quick,
why.
So.
I mean, I love John Malkovich.
But that doesn't mean it's like
Yeah.
a lot of those things I can go back now and watch and they're more enjoyable.
I
At
can
the
feel
time, I
them
was like,
looking at me, their eyes wet like peaches.
Oh, yes. I forget, dude. Him and Space Force.
Oh, he's the only thing that was good about Space Force for the most part. Jesus Christ, talk about a letdown.
I can't think of anything he's done that I have
the
not
show was
enjoyed
stupid.
him.
I watched both seasons.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was so stupid. I had to watch both seasons.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I just wanted to
Malkovich is-
see if they ever did a good job, and they did. They got to space.
Yeah.
and then they had to fight the Chinese in space.
I told you we know somebody in the Space Force, right?
No. Or you might have told me. I don't remember.
Yeah, he lives in Colorado Springs.
Dude, when we
yeah.
were in Colorado, all these people were walking around with like Space Force patches, and all these beers and stuff were themed after Space Force. And I was like, it's not even a real military thing. You guys we don't even have a manned space program in the United States.
Welcome to Biden's America.
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama. That was my next
Just blame
statement.
everybody whose fault it isn't.
God damn it, Washington.
Way to go, JFK.
Yeah, fucking, we don't have a manned space program because of JFK.
Because he had those really bad headshots. And, he wasn't an actor, so
I almost spit that out on the mic.
gotta get some spit guards here.
So speaking of headshots, Rambo.
Oh yeah.
All right,
So the dogs they realized so Rambo, Schoolboy, and Sarah are by themselves, and the other crew is separate, and the guy gets his leg blown off. Rambo and Schoolboy realize they're being tracked.
Yeah, they hear
Or
the
Schoolboy
dogs.
hears the dogs
Yeah.
first. And he's like, oh shit, they're tracking our scent, whatever. So Rambo takes a strip of clothing off of
Sarah.
and,
kudos for not getting her to be in her tank top out of nowhere.
yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Like
give
you
me
ripped
give me
just
your whole
enough
shirt.
material.
Give her the respect
Yeah.
because she's a Christian woman.
I'll give that to these Rambo movies. They don't do boobies. Like they don't do just like, hey, we got to get this chick.
Unnecessary.
Yeah, they don't.
Unnecessary
We need to
nerds.
get this chick shirtless.
Yeah.
Quick. No, get Rambo shirtless, motherfucker. He's got bigger boobs than anybody on set.
Yeah, he does. And then he ties it on his foot, which is smart because then the dogs just keep smelling it.
Right, because
Uh-huh.
it leaves the track on the ground.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, she still smells more like her than that strip of clothing.
Yeah.
But I think part of it too is that it confuses. They don't know which way to go, so they're like, well, this
If I
one
know-
maybe seems fresher because
Yeah.
he backtracks and goes.
If
so,
I know
like-
anything about dogs, and I don't, this would work.
Yeah.
well, Rambo tells me it does work.
Yeah.
So they track
So,
And
him,
I believe
so
him.
does black powder on the floor and then shooting it.
and he takes this claymore from Schoolboy, who Schoolboy did mention he had earlier. Or is it Schoolboy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, because as soon as they land, they do an explosive check, and a couple people are like, "I'm down to this." Like, what do you mean? What were you doing before this? That you ran out of explosives? You didn't stock up?
yeah. He's like, who has explosives? One guy's like, I don't have any. And Graham McTavish is like, what the fuck? And I'm like, you're the leader. Shouldn't you have been like,
Yeah.
you take this, you take this?
That's what you get with mercenaries, not a military. You would have had one guy be like, all right, do you have all your explosives? Yes. Do you have all yours? Yes. Do you have all yours? Yes. Okay. This is just like, I got real fucking drunk last night, dude. I meant to grab explosive. I grabbed a bomb pop.
I had explosives last night, but then I got drunk. And, turned out all these little tiny patches of C4 made for real fun fireworks.
Oh, man, that would.
So he sets this claymore on the tall boy bomb from earlier. And I mean, the way it goes off is stupid. So he leaves and he sets
Oh,
the strip there. He
yeah.
wraps the clothing strip with the pull
the
string
wire.
thing, the wire for the claymore. But when the soldiers get there and he
I
uncovers
thought the
it,
dog was going to grab it. And,
that
like,
would
pull
have
it
made
on.
so
I.
much. That's what I thought.
That would have made more sense.
Because I was like, oh, you're a genius. No.
No, this guy takes the foliage off, sees a claymore, sees the string, sees the cloth,
what's this here?
picks up the cloth and pulls it. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But it is a giant fucking explosion, and this is the worst CG of the
This
movie.
is the CG.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like a nuke. The way that it's like sucking
Yeah.
air in and then shoving it out. I mean, nukes that I've seen on movies. I've never seen
Yeah,
one.
well,
in real
and I
life.
think
but
the
I
thing
don't
with
know what
nukes
this
is-
bomb would do either.
I think the thing with nukes is that mushroom cloud, it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with it being a nuke. I think it has to do with the size of the explosion. Mm-hmm. And this is a large fucking explosion. This is
Yeah.
a big bomb. I don't
I
know
just
with
meant
you. I
the
don't know.
explosion acted a bit like a
The
nuke when it
explosions
was
earlier-
ripping through this fucking jungle.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
now
and
this is the
Rambo
worst
starts running right
CGI.
away, and he barely gets far enough away because like this
When
wave
he jumps
hits
down
him.
the hill and that like black wind goes over him, it looks like shit.
It's
Yeah.
fucking terrible.
This is where now the only time in the movie I'm really upset about CG.
But it's what else could they have done at that point?
Not shown that part. Just show him jump down a
Make a big
Okay.
hill.
explosion.
I don't know.
Because you know what? When they blew up those huts and stuff earlier, those were real explosions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? You're in the middle of the fucking jungle. You've paid the money to be there. Thailand's like, just blow it up, man.
We know that Stallone's willing to do the stunts. At least was. I don't know.
Yeah,
He
I
still.
mean-
It looked like he still did most of his in this one.
You don't need the wind. That was the worst part. The explosion didn't look great, but it was okay. It was
The
like from a
wind.
distance, but it was that wind, that black wind he was talking about. The fucking,
Yeah.
It's not.
we're bringing
was
back
I guess that
the
is
Black
unnecessary.
Parade from fucking Transformers here, right? There's
I
like
was a Rambo.
there's all these flecks and stuff. It looked terrible.
Yeah, it's the only time in the movie I was kind of like, ugh, wish I had to pee right now.
So we're at the end of the movie, basically, right? This is
Yeah.
I mean, I guess this is the third act. That explosion triggers the end of the second act.
And this
'cause-
is kind of where I was like, time check.
yeah.
Like, wait, don't we have a lot more to do? Thank God, no.
No, because all the
No.
soldiers are going to conveniently come here.
Yeah.
You can just take out this entire army, this entire Burmese army.
So the whole the army that's there has our mercenaries and what's left of the God Squad. Like they've got them found out, and they're Grant McTavish. I kind of like here because this guy's caning people now. Tint
Yeah.
is caning people,
Yeah,
and Grant
he is.
McTavish's like, "Why don't you try that shit on me, you fucking lady boy cunt?" And Tint understood part of that.
And
Because
so
his
did it.
eyebrows raised, and he just jams the stick into that leg. He's like, "Nyeh."
Yeah.
And now Graham is squealing. It was fucking great, though.
Squeal like a pig.
And Rambo sneaks up, and this is where we get. This is the moment. I wrote Sneaky Rambo, so I got
Sneaky
it.
Rambo.
You got this guy because Schoolboy and Sarah
Are on
I
one
can
side.
see what's happening, and she's like, "We need to do something." And he's like, "There's nothing I can fucking do. Like I've got this sniper
I have
rifle.
maybe 6 rounds in this
Yeah,
fucking thing.
I've got this rifle, and that's great. And I could take out that guy on the 50 cal.
Yep.
But like, there is 100 dudes down here, at least 50 dudes. I don't
And
know.
we can't get there fast enough.
It
And we
was
can't-
100. They've probably killed like 25, so we're getting like 50
Well,
to 75 people
I mean,
now.
they said it was at least 100 more were going to arrive, but like,
Oh, okay.
but like that explosion had to take out
a good
20,
amount.
30 people at least.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. But yeah, so we get the guy standing at the 50 cal watching what's happening, and just this like Rambo, like out of focus in the
like,
background. Rambo comes up in the shadows, just raises up.
Just a nice
It's
little
the
boner.
equivalent of his like mud thing in Rambo
Yeah.
3 and was it Rambo 3 that he did the mud? No,
No,
yeah,
Rambo
that was
2.
Rambo 2. And whatever.
No,
like,
Rambo 3, he did mud in that cave. Rambo 2, he was in like leaves and dirt.
No, that was one.
Rambo 1 he
was
was
leaves
in the
and
dirt.
dirt.
Okay.
Two
Rambo
was
2
the
he was in
mud,
the mud
because I didn't see
that was
three.
that was when it was raining.
He
It doesn't
did,
rain in
he did a
Afghanistan.
mud in 3 as well, though.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well,
I couldn't remember. He sneaked.
It's at
There was
the-
that
it's
part
at
where he was
the-
sneaking around in the caves.
Rambo 3 it's the part of Rambo 3 where it turns into like a slight horror movie.
Yeah.
Where just Russian
The
dudes
maiming
are just getting
montage.
stabbed and they don't get drug under things. Like, it's fucking cool.
That was in 2 also.
Yeah. Well, it's also in this.
It was in 1 also, the maiming montage for 1, 2, and 3. But the maiming montage for this one is just him with a 50 cal just
Yeah.
mowing people down.
Yeah.
So yeah, he cuts this dude's throat, I think.
Doesn't he just chop his head off?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
he
no,
cuts his
he-
head off because the
yeah.
head goes rolling down the hill. He throws the head down the hill.
He went for a throat slice and just went the whole way.
Yeah.
Oh, this knife's sharper than I thought.
Oh, man, I'm
And pretty then- good
at this. I should make more knives.
And then points the 50 cal at the driver of the truck.
Oh god, yeah.
Like as close
so this CG
to this
does not
gun
look good.
than I
but
am
it
to
is
the mic.
Wonderful
Also,
anyway.
also, you probably shouldn't have your 50 cal be able to go down and shoot your driver just for accident purposes.
And you know
I
what?
mean,
You know
you're
what I will
not
say?
wrong.
I understand that to get this guy shredded, you have to have CG. You know what you didn't need to do? You have a shot of the guy, and then you take the guy out, and you just put a bag of fake blood,
Meat.
and
Yeah.
the chunks of meat, and then have fucking Sylvester Stallone just blast that shit. Because you know what? Even if that thing has blanks in it, they would blow that bag up.
Yes,
Oh,
it
yeah.
would.
This blood goes everywhere, and then when they cut to like the next shot,
It's
the
coated.
shield on the front of the 50 cal is covered in chunks and blood.
Oh, it's
It is
gorgeous.
great. And you think, oh, man, that's brutal. Well, I hope you like more of that.
Yeah, so he just shreds these people with this gun. And you know what? There was a note, and I'm sitting here going, movie violence, right? This isn't real. There was a note I read. So people had said like this was probably a little over the top. It's not realistic, whatever. Which
Over the
also
top,
Rambo.
like the
so
Stallone movie where he arm wrestles?
yeah, so he turns his bandana backwards and he starts shooting. No,
He adjusts his grip on the 50 cal. Oh, shit, we're fucked. He
Uh-oh.
went over the top.
He Rambo'd.
but apparently there were like American soldiers and stuff coming back from the Middle East right now, or at the time, whatever. Well, still now, and they had commented seeing this movie that it's actually because like they were using these guns still.
Yeah.
They're like it's actually not that far off, and it might actually be a little toned down in some cases.
Oh, I do
I
not
don't
want to
doubt that.
imagine a 50 cal, fully automatic 50 cal going to town.
Yeah. So
Fucking Ma
these
Dukes.
dudes get shredded, and I did remember things a little differently. I swear there was a part where a guy got cut in half with the 50 cal, and his top half rolled down the hill, and his guts were spilling out. But I think I mixed that up with he shoots off legs and arms and stuff. And I mixed that up with when he kills Tent. I think in my head, but.
I mean, he does take somebody in half. It's just not the grandeur that you're remembering it with, where it splits and.
I swear I remember the dude splitting in half and guts spilling out as he rolled down a hill. But
You
then
do
his
get
habit, he
that.
takes out legs and stuff, and like people
Dude,
are rolling down the
he's-
hill because like both the legs get chopped out from underneath them and shit.
Is what 15 minutes,
Probably.
of just brutal, bloody fun.
And the mercenaries that are still able to like really function, kind of they break out and they take guns from the soldiers, and so they're helping out. And Schoolboy is just blasting people with what ammo he has left, and these dudes are just getting obliterated. And I mean, some of the
They're getting
soldiers
spit roasted by 50 cals.
Yes, they
Yeah.
are from two different angles. And then,
Well, that's spit roasting.
oh yeah, huh?
some of the
I call it finger cuffs.
a couple of the mercenaries do get taken
too.
out in the process.
And
Yeah.
then out of nowhere, here
And some of the
comes
church guys.
Here comes some rebels.
Yeah,
From
and
the other
yeah,
side.
and then you have Deus Ex Karen.
Yeah, because they kept calling them
God
the,
sent me here.
they kept calling them the Karen rebels because we are deaf and so we have subtitles.
Yeah.
But there's one part. This is the
part.
part they say it's the con rebels.
But I think that's just whoever did the subtitles sucks.
Oh, okay.
Because when I looked it up online, it is the Karen rebels. So
Weird.
it
Yeah.
clearly has something to do with the area they're from or something.
Yeah.
But it's just
Being in the United States in 2023, you see Karen rebels, and yeah, you're like,
I'd like to speak to the general.
this coffee's too hot. This coffee is too hot.
Hi, we just got here without reservations, and we haven't been seated yet. Okay? I know you got your little war going on.
I ordered
That's
my
cute.
food to go, and I sat at this table and ate it anyway, and that waiter gave me lip.
Fuck you, Karens.
So this is Michael finally kills somebody because he gets out and he's trying to fight this dude who comes for him. Like he's kind of wrestling with this guy, and he just grabs this fucking rock and just beats this dude to death with
there's
a rock.
never going to be an easy first murder, but you might have chosen the worst way to kill somebody.
Yeah, just
like you
beat a dude with
feel
a
that
rock.
you feel the skull and the brains and oh,
do you think he
God.
felt like Cain?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, he thought of that too. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm just like Cain. You're
Yeah, and he
able.
drops
Because
Because we're all brothers.
This we'll just call it a PT boat.
Yeah.
So another one of those arrives. This isn't one that the pirates have. This is the army, and they're shooting from the water. But this guy has a fucking mounted. It's like the same gun Rambo's using with the shield and everything, except for it's a fucking flamethrower.
Yep.
He's
Yep.
just blasting people from the water on the shore, just
Which-
burning people.
Fuck, a boat with a flamethrower, kind of a genius idea.
It's
I want
fucking
it.
If you
awesome.
catch another boat on fire, it's kind of done.
Well,
I
and when a
want it.
flamethrower works by shooting out flaming liquids, so
Yeah.
that it would still work on the water. You
Oh,
could
absolutely.
catch the water on fire.
Yeah, you're gonna catch
I've
everything
seen Free
around
Willy.
it. Sorry about that.
Ever since I'm pretty sure it was in Free Willy or what, right?
Oh,
Where the oil is burning
yeah,
on the top
I think
of the
that's
water.
Free Willy too.
I don't know. Whatever movie
Oh,
it was,
looky here, we got a fucking Free Willy expert.
whatever movie it was, I saw it as a young child, and that has always and forever been. People are like, "Oh, what's worse, burning to death or drowning?" And I'm like, watch.
Yeah,
There's actually a
you can do both.
Yeah,
There's a Vegas CSI scene where the guy goes, studies show that burning to death is the most painful way to go.
Oh.
I would rather drown. They say it's peaceful. I'm like, who fucking took that study?
Yeah,
I mean,
you
gotta
talk
do
to a
those
bunch
things.
of dead
Freezing
people.
To death sounds like the best one, right? Because you get
Yeah, you get all
warm and
euphoric.
comfortable and
Yeah, that's
but
actually.
like I've always thought about that because I'm like, if I'm in the water and then someone puts oil on top of it and lights it on fire, you have to choose: am I drowning or am I burning?
Oh, I would just start gulping water.
Yeah,
I'm like, well, I'm going out.
burning does seem more painful.
Yeah.
I feel like there's not a euphoric stage in burning to death.
No, once you run out of oxygen, you're gonna get really high. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I'd rather not do either.
Well, it's not up to you.
Well, I mean, I'd rather not.
it's up to Rambo.
It's up to Rambo. He's operating on American soil now.
Don't piss him off.
No.
For Rambo 6, they're actually just redoing Rambo 1, except nobody's an asshole. He just goes to national parks and starts killing people.
PTSD, baby.
Yep.
It's real.
The kid from the beginning who was like their guide, not the kid, but the older kid.
Ta?
Yeah.
I think Ta was the younger
THA.
one.
I didn't watch with subtitles, so
Yeah.
I really got not a lot of people's
Ta was the
names.
younger one. The other guy I don't remember his name. It was something with an M. Mint.
Mint.
It was Myint.
Oh, okay.
That's because I remember being like, well, that's a weird name, but I don't know
so it's
anything about.
Tint.
Yeah, that's fair. And he gets this. There's this truckload of soldiers coming, and he gets this fucking rocket launcher and takes this thing out, and it's awesome.
Yeah. We have some more soldiers. I'm gonna stop you right there.
And then, does he use the rocket on the truck or does he use it on the boat?
I think he uses it on the boat.
Somebody takes out the truck full of guys too, though, with another
I
explosive.
thought that
That's
he
the
used it on the
mortars from the
truck.
rebels.
Because I thought Rambo ended up because he's having a duel. There is a mounted gun on this boat that's not the flamethrower.
They do
Right.
end up blowing up the boat.
But yeah,
So I
they
think
do send a
Rambo-
rocket. No, Rambo's shooting at the boat, and then the dude's like,
oh, you
rocket
know what?
onto the boat.
Maybe Rambo takes out the truck by fucking
Oh, he lights
shredding
that
it.
shit
By
up.
fucking it.
He takes that truck out by fucking.
Either way,
Ramboner, baby.
there's a bunch of murder. And then Tint is trying to get away, as happens at the end of every movie, right? The big boss is still alive, but he always runs away like a little pansy.
I'm gonna get more soldiers.
Rambo
And I
jumps
will
off
say-
this gun.
They do not delay this scene. They
No.
do not draw it out,
no.
not even for a second.
And
He
you know
doesn't
what?
hesitate.
Rambo can speak to him because he knows the language. He doesn't. He comes out from behind this tree and just eviscerates or disembowels this
Yeah.
guy.
What's the Japanese seppuku kind of thing?
Seppuku or
it's
harikari.
forced harikari.
yeah.
Where he stabs him in the gut and you disembowel yourself, except for he does it for him.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And he
but his
almost
guts
cuts
do
him in
spill
half.
out. Yeah, his guts spill out. He falls. His top of his body opens up like a puppet mouth.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And his guts spill out. It's pretty great.
I'm here for it, man. And like I said, doesn't waste time and just about faces and goes.
And I completely forgot this movie. I'm like, man, is he gonna stay here? What's he do? Is he just stay in time? Because he's not gonna have a happy ending with Homegirl.
Nope.
It's just Rambo
'Cause
is
all
not
she
a
wants is
sexual
Michael.
creature.
She gets her reunion with Michael. He gets to watch them hold each other. And be happy.
you beg for a bit?
And I did take one note because he's watching all these them get happy and everybody celebrating, and he's just standing on the hill all stoic, right? And he's looking at her, and she's looking around, and he kind of gives her this look, like a nod, and all I could think was, "I did it all for you, Adrian."
I did it all for you, Sarah.
Adrian, oh, wrong movie.
And then so what you were saying, we cut to kind of the first scene from the first movie.
Except he's walking
that-
towards instead of away.
Well, he was walking towards the first one because I remember being like, it's like that scene from The Incredible Hulk, except he's
Yeah.
walking towards the
Okay.
camera. He's on the different side of the road, but it's the same.
Ooh.
It's the same thing.
They did it on purpose, you think?
He's wearing the same outfit.
Uh-huh.
Weirdly,
It's very similar hair.
Beautiful hair. It's
Yeah.
feathered and everything.
Oh yeah, he looks like if Brian Dennehy's still out there, man, he's
Also-
gonna come get you.
That was not Bowie, Arizona.
no, because he walks to this horse ranch in beautiful California, Arizona.
Yeah,
This is because it's clearly the California desert.
and I'll
Yeah.
tell you right now, you don't need a jacket in almost any part of Arizona.
No,
Unless it's like January.
Even then.
I mean, we drove through Bowie on the way
Yeah.
back from Colorado, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's higher or lower than here.
It's higher.
But even if it's higher, it's not like Bisbee where it's a mile high. And I mean,
Yeah.
if it's dead of winter at night, it can be kind of cold.
No, it's like Vale.
But you know what? He's also been wearing jackets in the fucking jungle for 20 years.
This is
so.
true.
That's true. But here it's dry heat.
I will tell you, like in Vale, they're just a couple 100 feet higher than us, and they get snow every winter.
Yeah, that's fair. But I was disappointed.
wanna
I was
say
like,
Bowie's a
you
little
couldn't
higher.
pay the couple extra bucks to be in Arizona. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's not a
There's
it's
not
not
one
Arizona because there's not
saguaro,
a single
damn it.
saguaro. There's not any cactus of any sort.
But it is 08. We stopped giving incentives for filming movies here. We stopped giving tax breaks.
Yeah, but
True.
come on, it's fucking Rambo walking down a road while the credits roll.
Yep.
Whose
Like,
bright
hey,
idea
can
was
we
that?
be
to
here
kill our
for
fucking
7
shit?
minutes?
I don't know.
I'm some politician.
Fucking Deucey.
Probably the same. No, probably
No, it
the
was
same.
long before Deucey.
Yeah, it's probably the same dickbag that didn't want to recognize Martin Luther King Day, but wanted to celebrate.
Oh, who was that real
Columbus.
Columbus
slimy?
Day.
Who was that real slimy governor that we had?
That's what I'm
All of
talking
them?
about. I just can't think of his fucking name
before
right now.
Napolitano.
You're asking the wrong chick.
I can't remember his name. It was when I was younger. I just remember hearing his name a lot. It was probably him because we had movies filmed here in the 90s.
Yeah.
And I think he was the governor, because he was the governor when I was a kid. Fife Symington.
Fife Symington.
That sounds
So it was probably him.
right.
or
Dude, there's
some
no
of
way
his
that
people.
anybody named Fife Symington's ever done like good things.
Well, as soon as I said slimy, I was like, I'm going to figure this out because I remember somebody saying Fife Symington.
Fife Symington
So-
is great.
And yeah, so he's walking to this ranch, and the mailbox is R. Rambo, so presumably his dad,
Whose first name is Rambo.
Rambo.
Ricardo Rambo.
Ricardo Rambo. Reginald Rambo.
And
my son has returned.
the credits roll while it is the whole shot. The camera jibs up, gets this real high shot,
Jibs.
and then it's just and then it's just Rambo
terms.
walking. This is the first
The
one not to
entire
end with a
time.
freeze frame
Yeah.
because he walks and walks and walks down this entire. I mean, this road is a half a
like
mile.
I
At
gotta
least.
tell you, man.
I'm
Fuck
almost
a
a
freeze
mile.
frame.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
for a Rambo movie.
But I
There's
just mean
certain times
it's
it worked.
happened in all three at the end, and
I
it's
didn't like it in any three of them.
But no, like
But it
through
doesn't
the
matter. I mean, it's kind of a
entire
freeze frame
credits.
because the only reason there's times where I was like, "Did it freeze now?" And then I look at the horses in the
Yeah, the
foreground.
horse.
and
Like, oh, the
they're
horse
moving.
is still moving.
Because he's so
Okay.
far away. But he walks from the highway all the way to this house that's maybe like a mile
It's almost
back.
a mile.
I would
It
have
looks
grabbed
like
one
a
of those
mile.
horses. Like, you got to take me.
So he's going home to reconcile with his father, who I don't know.
If
Presumably
there's even
might
a
be
reconcile
dead.
necessary.
I don't know because I know in 5 he is running a horse ranch in Bowie, Arizona. So this leads right into. I think this was meant to be like the end.
Ranch in Bowie, Arizona. But
I-
it was my father's land.
I think this was supposed to be the end. This
Yeah.
was like, okay, we bookended Rambo. He went home. He's going to meet with his father, the last of his family, his real father, not his fake father from the last 3 movies. And
Not his father
whatever.
figure.
But then somebody came up with this idea. So I did hear some rumors that Rambo 5. There was a bunch of different ideas thrown around. There was like a cult. There was, which he already did in Cobra. There was something about like mutant like super soldiers that the
Oh,
government had tried
God.
to make or something.
That sounds like the progression that this franchise would go.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad it didn't. It would have cheapened everything. That's your Crystal Skull.
Oh my god.
Mutant soldiers.
Put-
My mouth is too dry.
But yeah, it's something to do with Mexican cartel. And
lot to
you
do
know what I
with them.
didn't mention at the beginning, unless I did. I said Rambo kills 254 people, right?
Yeah.
In the 5th one, it's only like 40 something.
Yeah.
But he's also just going after a
But it's a
cartel.
lot. If I remember correctly, the majority of the kills are a lot more intimate, like Blade to.
Okay, I've
to-
never seen it. I just know. I just read a little blurb.
I love that.
I am now excited to watch it again. I've only seen it once.
It looks personal again. It's like the first one because it's something to do with his family. Somebody gets kidnapped.
Well, I don't know if it's his granddaughter.
I'm
I don't know if
excited
he
to
has
watch
kids.
it for the first time.
Niece.
It's a proverbial granddaughter.
And so some of the pictures I found because I get stills to put on social media and stuff.
Yeah.
it's like he looks like it's personal in a lot of.
I
These
also
kills.
am now remembering there's tunnels, and then I remember you saying that he's claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Claustrophobic.
Colostomy phobic.
Colostomy phobic. Oh, who
Who's
is it?
not? Yeah, right. There's a couple of things I want to touch upon that we did touch on in other episodes. So this movie cost $55 million.
Didn't this make the most
It
out
made
of...
113,
Okay.
which isn't bad. Probably not as good as they would have wanted. 2008, $113 million isn't anything.
But your margins are pretty good.
Well, yeah, you're talking about
Yeah.
an 80s movie. You say 113 million. That was
It
a
doubled.
huge success. You're talking about 2008. You say 113 million. This is
It's
we're
very
living in a
middling.
post Jurassic Park, post Avatar, post
Oh, I guess.
So, but I still did okay. The moral of the movie I wrote here: killing is never the answer,
Unless.
except when it is.
Unless it is. Because even at the end, Michael kind of looks at him after bashing that dude's head in like, I get it.
I
Oh,
understand.
You know what?
And
Kind of felt good, dude.
Somebody in IMDb did the math for me. It averages 2.59 kills per minute.
Somebody on IMDb did the meth for me.
that too. And this movie is banned in Myanmar.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
which
yeah.
makes perfect sense. Bootlegs are available and like they're really popular. And I guess Burmese freedom fighters have actually adopted dialogue from the movie as like battle cries,
Fuck yeah.
including like "live for nothing" or "die for something." And Stallone was like, "That's like the proudest moment I've ever had."
Yep.
You know,
Rambo doesn't have a kid. He's got a little country.
this is a very proud moment. I'm perpetuating violence throughout the generations. But Rambo is not a violent film.
That's not what it's about. It's about social awareness. You're holding a fucking M16 for promotion.
For promotion.
So anyway, how does everybody feel, Whitney?
So I refused to tell Jack how I felt about this movie. I said
loved
he'd
it.
I fucking loved it.
You loved it.
I 100% love this movie. Again, that one part at the beginning where it is necessary to see.
It's
so
necessary
You can,
ick.
yeah. I mean, I could, like I said, I could do like 2 minutes less of it.
Yeah.
But it
That's when you get up and have a beer. If
Yeah.
it's making you uncomfortable, go to the fridge, get a beer. By the time you come back, the ick is mostly over.
Yeah, and it just I thought it was beautifully done. There was no forced love interest. There was a respect built, and that's what I genuinely love about movies like that.
Yeah. So full recommend.
I get 3 thumbs up.
Hell yeah. So I hadn't seen it since it came out, and I remember not liking it because it isn't like numbers 2 and 3 in a lot of senses. I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was better than 2 and 3.
Yeah.
It was so fucking much better than I thought. A couple icky CG moments. That's my ick. But other than that, yeah, this was really, in 90 minutes, like we're coming in, we're out, we're having a snack of a movie. That's it. Full recommend.
I was pleasantly surprised at the runtime.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, 3, I don't remember how long it was, but it just felt like a drag.
3 was about 20 minutes too long.
And it's, again, 45 minutes of nothing happening, you know. But yeah, I'll recommend this movie too. I don't know if I think it's better than 2.
Okay.
It's pretty close.
I liked it
this
more
and
than
2
2, I
are
should
on the
say.
same level to me. I think I give the nudge to 2 because it's all practical. And it is like the origin of why all these kind of movies happen. And it doesn't have any CG.
It's like the grandfather of schlock.
Yeah?
I definitely like this more than 3.
Yeah.
I thought 3 was fine. I did give it a recommend, but it was kind of a softer recommend. This is like I'm mostly hard on this one. Like this isn't like that rock hard painful boner. Like
You don't have
number
a Ramboner?
but yeah, but it's very good.
I have a Ramboner for
Well,
it.
it's not very good. This is a stupid fucking movie, but it's very fun to watch.
Yes.
So yeah, I would recommend it too. I've mentioned a couple times the Letterboxd on there. I have all the rankings that are going to be up when we're done, and this one has the same rating as 2 from me. But I'm still debating about what I put as 2 or 3. I think I'm going to put this as 3.
Yeah.
I haven't seen 5 yet.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Maybe it's the best. I
And
doubt it.
now, like I said, I'm excited to watch 5 again because I expected this to be like a dog shit rewatch. And now maybe 5 won't be good because I'm expecting it to be good.
Well, 5 was from 2019. I didn't even know Rambo 5 existed until I found out Stallone's birthday was in July and looked to see. Oh no, it was I found out 5 existed for Black Friday last year when I bought this box set. Because Best Buy had like the Blu-ray box set for like $10 or something like that, and I was like 5 film box set.
It is guaranteed to be better than Crystal Skull.
Guaranteed?
Well, yeah.
All right.
It's guaranteed.
I could probably watch someone take a shit and it's better than Crystal Skull.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to see what I did my work this morning? I film all my bowel movements. I send it to my doctor.
Yeah, that's a good thing to do.
He's told me to stop.
The one thing I will say, they should have, and I get what they're establishing, it's kind of along the lines of what Whitney was saying. I don't need the real world footage.
Yeah.
I don't need to
especially
see
if you're
real
already
mutilated
doing
people.
You one or the other.
Yeah.
You use
Yeah,
the
you
real,
didn't need to
the
do
real
both.
world news footage in the beginning, or you use the throwing babies into fires footage. You don't need both.
Yeah, I don't need the real world footage. Just the abuse that we saw on screen was enough.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
But so next week we conclude Rambothon.
The Last Blood.
Yes, with the last blood. So it has to be the last one, unless he does Last Blood Part 2.
The first time.
Rambo, Last Blood Part 2. The conclusion, Part 1.
My name is John.
You know, the new thing is like making your final movie have more than one part, like Fast
Yeah.
X or Dead Reckoning, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. It'll just be Rambo, Rambo, Last Blood, Part 2, Part 1. Chapter 1.
The naming never gets better. You still don't know what the fuck to call it.
Rambo 6, Last Blood, Part 2, Chapter 1. Verse A. It's like you're fucking reading the Bible. But that's it for this week. We'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to check out Evasion on all their social medias and the streaming services. Find us everywhere. Force your friends to listen. We have been gaining listeners, which is cool. Trying to hit 100 followers on Facebook. We're real close. I think we're at 91.
Like and follow, guys.
So like and follow if you haven't. Make your friends do it, even if they don't care.
Start a burner account.
Go start fake accounts and follow us.
Don't forget, you always get $1 off your first pint at Harbottle Brewing when you mention you listen to this podcast.
And keep an eye out, or an ear out, I guess it would be. We will be doing our bad movie night at some point here with Dillinger.
Yeah.
Yes, come
I'm gonna
down,
I'm
have
gonna
fun with
talk
us.
to him. Probably have to do it in August because this episode airs towards the end of July, so it's a little too late to advertise for
Happy
July.
late 4th, guys. Happy late 4th.
Oh, yeah.
But that's gonna be it for us. We'll see you next week. I have been Derek,
I have been Whitney.
I'm Jack.
And we actually won't see you next week, so you'll hear us, though. Good night, and go fuck yourself. Comfortable?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, you get too comfortable. You're like, yeah, it's a chill movie. Welcome back to half an hour of us snoring.
Welcome to Good Naps, Worst People.
Good naps, worst people.
Mine's always bad naps, worse people. I'm such a terrible sleeper.
Naps are great. Sleeping is bad.
I'm terrible at all of it, dude.
Because naps are never intentional, so they're always great.
Yeah.